loves, it's your girl MariahSincere, and I am back with another bomb live. For those of y'all who are new to my channel, I'm an American woman who has been traveling and living in Latin America. And this conversation, on this channel, we have real conversations about travel, relocation, and living abroad in general. So if that's something that you're interested in, then you're in the right place, guys. We have a very exciting show today. I'm so happy. As y'all know, there have been a lot of things going on recently. You know, we are still praying for Colombia. Colombia had the big earthquake on top of all the drama that's been going on in the travel space. So I just wanted to come on here and do something a little bit more fun, something a little bit more lighthearted. So we are going to talk about spooky encounters that people have had while traveling or living abroad. I think that this is going to be very, very interesting because a lot of y'all go to these places and y'all might not know any of the folklore in the local places. Yes, prayers to Colombia. And y'all, I believe that Rob on Remote Living Gringo is still collecting donations. Shout out to him and shout out to Passport Graffiti. If y'all don't follow Passport Graffiti, I reviewed a couple of interviews on his channel with him and Jamie Woods. Passport Graffiti is on the ground in Colombia, and he's coordinating with Rob because Rob is out the country. So Rob is helping collect money and get it to Passport Graffiti. And Passport Graffiti has been, showing the pictures of the donations, loading it up, getting it where it needs to go because he's out on the ground. So guys, y'all get with Rob, y'all get with Passport Graffiti if y'all would like to donate to help the cause in Colombia. And the reason why I'm choosing to promote them is because I know the money's going to go where it needs to go. There are other funds, there's Red Cross and all of that, but I don't know how much of that actually gets to the people. I'm not saying it doesn't, but I need to put something that I can stamp my name on it, okay? So I know it's going to go with it where it goes, and it's going to do what it do. Also, guys, if y'all are not subscribed to Food for the Soul channel, please subscribe to Food for the Soul. I'm going to go ahead and bring Coach John up because he is going to be my co-host for today. Because, again, we are going to be talking about some very interesting topics. And y'all know he's from Louisiana. So I just knew he was going to have some stories to add to it. And I would love to get a guy's perspective on some of these supernatural things that we are going to be talking about. Now, a lot of y'all fellas, y'all need to be careful because y'all are going to these countries, y'all are sleeping with these women, and y'all don't know that they be doing brujeria. I personally know some women from the islands who have told me that they do brujeria on their man. Now, luckily, it's not super crazy. Like the stuff that they told me that they've done is not like super crazy, like the spaghetti thing, if you know.
Yes, I know.
But they do. I know a couple of ladies who do brujeria on their man, and the man doesn't know. So this is the thing. If y'all are going to be going and dealing with foreign women, especially women in the islands, especially women in Latin America, but women can do brujeria anywhere. Okay. Now, with that said, Coach John and we met this past Monday. And he and myself and his daughter Sol shot a cooking video, and we were learning and teaching how to do Dominican pastelon. So if that's something that y'all would be interested in, cooking content, and getting to know more about Dominican culture through that lens, then go ahead and subscribe to that channel. All right, let me see who's all here in the chat. What's up, Bless Aries? Yo, Mariah, what's your opinion on weed as a woman? I mean, I don't smoke it. I don't think that it's good for long-term and everyday consumption. What's my opinion on it in general? In moderation, if you can. Some people think they can moderate, but they can't. Or, it's good for medicinal purposes and things like that. I've never been a weed smoker, but I remember one time I was going through a really hard time in my life. And I got on THC. No, or was it CBD? Not THC, y'all. CBD. I would do them CBD gummies, and I would smoke that CBD. And what I liked about the CBD is it will give you all the benefits of the relaxation without the high. And that's what I don't like. So hey, it is what it is. Red Cross, what's up, Bismarck? Red Cross takes a percentage. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. I know that Rob and Passport Graffiti are doing right by the money.
Yeah. Most nonprofit organizations, they take percentages because even YMCA, I worked for the YMCA for a while. They take a big percentage also.
Yeah, and I understand because they have staff that they have to pay. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm just not sure how much of it gets to the people, right?
Oh,
What's up, D?
Mariah, I want to say this before. Food for the soul is SOL, not SOLE. I'm sorry.
Did I? Hold on.
It's all right.
Let me check my banner.
You don't have to change it now, but just it's.
I'm gonna change it.
Okay.
Why I put Sole? I'm gonna change it. Sorry. Okay, guys. So this is the food for the soul chimp. Why? No, it's supposed to be changed. Why I don't want to change? I swear I changed it. Hold on.
No, you good. You good. You can do that later. You good.
No, I want to. There we go. Now it's right. Okay, guys. So y'all subscribe
tomorrow,
to Food for the
Soul.
Soul
Day after tomorrow, we're gonna post that video.
Okay. I always thought the spaghetti thing was majority a Southern thing. Shows you how out of touch I am. If it's well, here's the thing you have to understand, and this is why I love to come on here and talk about culture, right? So that not necessarily was a Southern thing, for us in the United States that came out of Louisiana. But what a lot of people don't know is that before Louisiana was owned by, Louisiana passed through a couple of hands. I believe at first it was owned by the French. Then at one point it was owned by the Spanish. And then the Spanish sold it back to France. And then France sold it to the United States.
Right. You got it. Look at you. Yeah.
Yes, I know y'all know I used to be a history teacher, but y'all have to understand Louisiana, especially during this time, was considered the northernmost Caribbean city. Okay, in terms of being a part of Caribbean culture, especially before the United States took it over. When you think of Louisiana, that especially back in the day, they used to have far more in common culturally with the Dominican Republic,
and
with
Haiti, right?
And with Haiti, with Dominican Republic, with the Virgin Islands, right? So y'all have to understand, Haitians always went back and forth between Louisiana and the Dominican Republic.
They're still finding pyramids in Louisiana from Haitians and settlers from back in the day. So that's you're absolutely right or whatever. So you on my topic because Louisiana is and my mom she's from Mississippi, but my dad he's Creole, so he's white and black. So I got some stories. We don't call them we don't call them voodoo people or nothing like that. We call them treaters. So like in Louisiana, so I was treated. I was treated when I was younger by a treater. So like they would lay us on the table and I would just have my underwear on and they would light candles around me and things like that. So I was treated a lot in Louisiana, but I don't want to get off subject, but I'll talk about that later on. But
no, tell me. So is a treater like a obey man or a witch doctor?
It's similar, yeah. But we called it a treater. So like I had nosebleeds when I was younger, and my grandmother and my grandfather used to take me in Opelousas and Lafayette, and they would take me to this treater, and they would pay like $4 or $5 for a treater to treat me and put things on me and rub things on me and chicken blood and things like that.
Oh, did you hear the story? It's a little bit off topic. Did you hear? But this happened recently this year. It went viral on TikTok. Did you hear the story about the girl that went to go get her hair done with chicken blood? She had chicken blood in her hair. The beauty stylist was like, "Why you got chicken blood in your hair?" And she was like, she didn't explain, but she wanted the stylist to wash her hair. The very next day, her daughter died.
Wow, are you serious?
serious. No, this was a real story that happened this year. Yeah. All right. What's up, Romeo? What's up, Skinny? What's up, Skinny? I have a story before we get into, well, I believe a Cuban man tried to do some brujeria on me. I was dating this Cuban guy, y'all. And I remember we were on the phone one time and I was like, what are you doing? And he was telling me he was doing like, he did, I think it was like Santeria, like where they believed in all like the orishas and all of that kind of stuff like that. So I called him in the middle of him sacrificing a chicken. Okay. So we have been dating for a minute. So that time came, right? And afterward, I don't know what it was. It was just he got on. I was like, okay, well, you have to leave now. You know, like it's time for you to go home. He looked at me like he was so confused, like some shit ain't go as planned. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I remember him doing a ritual right before he came to my house. And I remember this dude was just, his flabber was gasted. Like, this has never happened before to me. This has never happened before. Like, but it was a different kind of like, he just couldn't believe it. And, you know, I'm like, sir, I'm blessed and highly favored over here. This is when I was in the United States. Baby, I'm blessed and highly favored. Whatever you think you finna put on me, sir, baby, it's going to backfire on you first and foremost trying to play with me. But I believe that man was trying to do some brujeria on me. I truly do. Yep.
You got to believe in it. And, it's real. I believe it's real, but you got to be strong and, you know, whatever. And you can click on some of the stupid ones also, so I can comment on them if you want to. You do whatever you want to, but I like. No.
We gonna have a fun live tonight. Yeah. We mixing it up in the travel space, y'all. We not just on here to talk about. We here to have a good time. Y'all make sure y'all get y'all something to drink. I got me a coffee. I really want some cocoa, but I said I'm off of sugar. Okay, yeah, you got your beer. Okay, I got my coffee. It's gonna be a good time. Yeah.
Go to the stupid comment that a boy said pyramids are in Mississippi. He's right. Pyramids are in Mississippi. But I've
heard about pyramids all over the United States.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting. Hold on, let me shout out my mod. Shout out to Skinny. What's up? Romeo, what's up? The Book of Enoch talks about sirens. Yeah, we're gonna talk about the biblical, marine spirits, all of that. Good evening. Not to be a conspiracy theorist about the earthquake, but research tectonic discharger. There's a patent for it and all. And now Colombia is allegedly teaming with Israel. Okay, well, you know, I don't like to talk about them small hat people on my channel. I'm trying to keep my channel up. What's up, Suavencito? Okay, so you say the Book of Enoch is fictional. It's not evil. It is part of the culture of the island on both sides. For example, Carnival is considered satanic, but they do it anyway. You know, and here's the thing. I'm not here to disrespect anybody's religion. I think that those kind of things can be used for good or bad, just like it's good and bad. Christian, it's Christians that pray evil and bad stuff on people. So I think intention matters. But I think when somebody trying to put a love spell on me or do something to make me go against my will, baby, I rebuke that every single time. Okay? It ain't happening, Captain. It ain't happening. What up, Rico?
Uncle Rico. What's up, Rico?
There are more pyramids in the Americas than in Egypt. I'm hearing about them. I hear all those Passover states. So all those Passover states where they don't recommend that we travel. You know what I'm talking about? Like the Dakotas,
yes,
Utah.
Yes.
I heard that these are some of the most beautiful places in the country, but also where there's some of the most paranormal activities. Appalachia. I know y'all have heard about Appalachia. I've heard there's a lot of paranormal activities going on in Appalachia. But these are considered flyover states that people don't go and investigate.
Right.
Yeah, so I want to show y'all real quick the video that inspired me to make it, to do this topic. Now, the man I'm about to show you, This is a super simp. Okay, y'all men like to talk about simps. I want y'all to listen to this man's story. By the end of this story, I'm like, yeah, this is one of the men that will come to Colombia and he would get scoped for sure. He will for sure get scoped. And y'all are gonna understand exactly what I'm saying when you listen to this. He is going to detail his encounter with a siren in Puerto Rico. Now, shout out to the channel that I got this idea from is Zena Sessions. Zenah Sessions. Okay, so y'all make sure y'all subscribe to her.
Puerto Rico. Yeah, you heard that right. A siren. So I'm saying this story again because the account I said it on before was banana. So some people are curious again. You know, they want to know because I commented on someone's page and was like, you know, I saw one too. So to begin this story off, I've been a trucker for a long time, and being a trucker, you go through some things mentally, spiritually, everything. You go through some things. Some truckers won't talk about it. Some will. I will. I don't care. But you enter this state of loneliness.
Sir, if you want to tell us you went through some lot lizards, just say that.
Yes. Unimaginable. But anyway, let's skip that part. I had to take a break from trucking. So I took a break from trucking and I moved back to the island. After the hurricane, I believe it was. I moved back to the island. Excuse me. Yeah, so I moved back to the island and I started fishing for my dad. My dad owns a pescaderia. I don't know if I know there's a fish market, a fish shop where they sell fish out of. And it was passed down from my grandfather to my dad. So one morning, you know, I went out with my fishing partner, mi compañero, and it was early in the morning, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Whoever had set traps out, we fished like our ancestors did. You know, so we were out there lifting by hand all the traps we set out. So it was one trap I was picking up and something was coming up with it. Like as I was pulling it, it was really heavy. So I'm pulling it and I'm pulling it and I'm pulling it and I see this figure on it. And you know, I thought was, okay, what the hell is it? You know, is it a big barracuda or something? It was something, but it wasn't. As I was pulling it up, I started seeing the figure. It was a woman.
Wow.
And it kind of shocked me because I'm like, what am I seeing? You know, what am I seeing? So I'm pulling it up and it gets real close to the top. I would say about 4 or 5 feet. And I can see this thing, this siren, clear as day. Clear as day. She was beautiful. When I tell you, okay, easy way I can describe her. She had long platinum hair. Her hair was platinum. It was super long. And it was just flowing in the water. Her skin was pale white. Like, I'm going to say the closest people I can say she looked like was Chinese. She looked like Chinese. Really, 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 really chinky eyes, pale skin, small nose, small lips. Her figure she was beautiful. She didn't have anything on up top, but it was blurred out. You can see the shapes of her, you know, whatever, but it was blurred out. I'm guessing where I was at spiritually, she didn't come for me to lust on her. I believe she came to warn me. So anyway, her tail, oh my goodness. Her tail was, it was so beautiful. Her tail was translucent, but colorful. It was changing colors. Like it was like in and out, different colors. And it was colors I've never seen in my life. Like I couldn't even describe to you what I was seeing when her tail was like switching colors. And at one point, as I was like pulling up slow, because I kind of was in shock, I couldn't even turn my head to tell my partner, like, yo, come look at this.
Mm.
I was so in shock and amazed that when I was looking at it, when I looked up and looked back down, it was gone. It was gone. And after the fact, you know, I was like, yo, did I just see what I saw? Was this real? And so, I can't wait to tell my dad what I saw. And when I told my dad, he had his own story of when he saw the mermaid.
Y'all are gonna see there are so many people with mermaid or siren stories in Puerto Rico. Now, I want y'all to listen to this last part that he says, and y'all tell me what y'all think of it, because he has a very interesting theory about why mermaids have a bad reputation. So y'all listen for that part.
Because my dad used to be a fisherman too, but my dad's story went like, this is why I believed it even more. Because after I saw it, I told my dad, and my dad told me his story, and he was like, yeah, I saw one too. And he said he was sitting at the beach one day, just in his car. He was sitting at the beach, and one came swimming up to the shoreline. And when he saw it, she turned around and swam away. And he sits at the beach. I used to wonder why he would just sit at the beach. And that was the reason why. He said, I'm here. He was like, I go there to see if I see la sirena otra vez. Yo quiero ver la sirena. And I was like, wow. And I also believe my grandfather has a story too, because he did the same. But my grandfather was so hard. He was so hard that I don't think he would have ever even told his story. Because he was one of those, he was a sturdy man. But he used to sit at the beach as well. He used to sit right at the Beccaderia. He had a bench facing the water, and he would sit right there all day and just stare into the water. But yeah, that's my story. It's true. I believe you have to be there spiritually to see them. I believe they do show themselves to men, to hurt men or lost men. I don't believe the lies they say that they're dangerous, that they drown men.
Listen to this.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I believe that lie came from women. I believe that siren came to me to warn me about a situation that was coming.
Wow.
And from then on, I believe in sirens. I believe in mermaids. I believe they're real. I believe you got to be there spiritually to see them. I believe men see them more than women. That too. I believe men do see them. Men do hear them. And I don't know. It was just, she's beautiful. They're beautiful. I don't care what anybody say. They are beautiful. Closest thing to an Asian, I would say. If an Asian had platinum hair and a fin, that's a mermaid. I don't care. No offense.
Okay, so y'all hear what he said? Why we get first of all, shout out to Bible with Misha. Girl, you got any stories about Puerto Rico, brujeria, sirens, anything like that? Okay, y'all make sure y'all subscribe to Bible with Misha. Now, did y'all hear what he said? He said he feels like the stories about the sirens being dangerous and luring men to their deaths were made up by women. He believes it's all a lie. It's all a lie. Now, sir, I believe they show themselves to men because the men are the ones that are more easily going to be lured in, right? So he's thinking, oh, these sirens are there to heal it. And first of all, y'all got to understand, these stories about sirens, they didn't come from women. They came from men who were out at sea, right? And some of their shipmates were coming up missing and jumping off the ship and dead. Women weren't fishermen and out at sea. Right. And so that's what's the men going out. So why we got to get blamed for everything? What you think about this story, Uncle Rico?
That's interesting.
Yeah, I think so. Now,
didn't they just have a new video where they just showed a video of another mermaid that they saw, and they took a real good picture of it? I I saw it today on Instagram. Did you see that one?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, that's new. That's like in the last couple of days I saw it. Yeah, and
it wasn't AI because that
no,
looked bad.
it was real. It looked real and everything. I was like, wow, yeah. I mean, it was.
Well, look,
she had a alien looking face with long hair, kind of looked like she was Chinese, and she had like little like small lips, like like a white woman have or whatever, and she looked like a ugly Chinese white woman, and I mean it looked real. Mm-hmm.
Well, he keep on looking. He keeps saying that the mermaid looked like an alien.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's how this one looked. Yeah.
Incubator babies. NPC, what you talking about? Y'all in here talking about all kind of stuff. Okay, so I want y'all to listen to this next story. It's about a girl and her father and her uncle. This is all in Puerto Rico. Mm-hmm. And then I'm gonna actually show y'all a video that I found on the internet of this man trying to go drown himself in damn water.
Wow.
In behind one of them damn sirens. It's crazy. I'm like, I did not know stuff like this was actually happening. And then after that, we'll have you come give your paranormal accounts.
All right, cool.
Okay, so hold on. We're gonna go to my TikTok page.
Siren story and the missing persons case? Anyone? This is the only siren story that I have, okay? It's my family story from my dad's side. Now, I only met my biological dad once, and we hung out for 3 days, and I never saw or heard from him again. But anyway, yeah, ghosted by my own daddy. But that's a video. That's for another day, okay? In those 3 days, though, that I hung out with him, we got to learn a lot about each other. And the one thing that we had in common was our interest in the occult and how we tend to attract these paranormal activity type stuff. And he shared with me a story. Now, the story takes place in Puerto Rico. My dad's about 8 years old. He lives with his mother and his uncle, his mom's brother. For a living, his uncle fished. He was a fisherman. His uncle had the reputation of being the village drunk. Okay. But he was a fun man from what my dad told me. He was very jovial, like the life of the party, very loud, like very just fun guy to be around, especially when he was drinking. My dad goes on to tell me that one day his uncle goes off to work on his little boat, like normal, nothing special about this day, except that evening, his uncle, in hysterics, busts through the door, hollering, screaming, soaking wet. His face is all bloody, and he's got blood on the back of his shirt. So my daddy's mama, I guess my grandma runs in, right, to see what the hell's going on. What's all the hollering and screaming about? And when she sees the condition that her brother's in, she tells my dad to go into the room. And my dad said that he could hear, when she closed the door, that he could hear his uncle screaming something about a siren, but that his uncle was so hysterical that he couldn't get anything else that he was saying except the word siren. My dad also said that before his mama pushed him into the room and closed the door, that he got a peek at his uncle and then he saw these really big claw marks on his face. My daddy said he heard my grandma, say to the uncle, her brother, that we told you not to go that far, that she was going to come back for you. My dad is 8 years old. He doesn't know what the fuck this means. So my daddy assumed that his uncle had been out drinking and got caught cheating. I don't know. I guess his uncle was like a philanderer or a womanizer type. You know what I mean? So my dad was thinking he got caught, and that's what the scratches from, like, whatever girl, messed him up that night. So my daddy goes on to tell me that his uncle was never the same. Okay. Like I said, he was a life of the party, alcoholic, loved women. Like, he was that type. So he went from that to like almost nonverbal, right? And my dad said he had this look in his eyes like he was looking past you. I think they call it the 1,000-yard stare. You get that from trauma. That's what my dad said. And that he like walked around muttering to himself all the time, and no one ever understood what he was saying. It was almost like another language. His uncle also stopped going out into the water. This man was a fisherman. That was his living. Like, that's how he earned his money. So whatever the fuck went on out there scared him so bad that he didn't want to make money anymore, right? He would fish from the shore, my dad said. So a month after that whole ordeal of his uncle busting through the door, screaming on hysterically, the sleepwalking begins. My dad had told me that his uncle had absolutely no history of sleepwalking because his uncle had lived there ever since he could remember. And my dad told me he knew that his uncle was sleepwalking because when he would get up to like try to get him back to bed or like try to talk to him, that it was like he wasn't there, like he couldn't see my dad. And my dad said that his uncle would be muttering but couldn't understand him. It was like a language. And so it became a thing where my dad and my grandma had to like watch out for him every night because he would sleepwalk and try to leave the house. And a few times he actually did leave the house and would end up at the beach. So my dad said this like strange behavior goes on for about a year. And it's not until like the last 3 or 4 months, if I remember correctly. He said it's not until the last 3 or 4 months that his uncle started like coming back around to his like normal self. Like he started drinking and playing dominoes again and getting on his boat again, but never like out to the ocean like he used to. But everyone's really happy that he's making progress. The sleepwalking even stopped. Everything was almost back to normal until this one night, the last night he ever saw his uncle. So my dad says one night he's in bed and he hears someone walking around in the house. It's late at night, everyone should be sleeping. So my dad gets up to go look and he says it's his uncle. And he looks like he's sleepwalking again, doing the muttering thing, but he hadn't done this in a while. So he was kind of like, okay, but whatever, this shit again, let me get him back to bed. Except for this time, my dad said this was something different than sleepwalking. He doesn't know what the fuck it was. He said that he thought his uncle was possessed. He said his uncle looked at him in his eyes and his eyes were all black. And he told my dad, she isn't going to stop until she has me. And my dad said he was terrified, but he was just kind of like, okay, Theo, let's go back to bed.
Hell no.
My dad said the last time he saw his uncle, he had sat him down on his bed and his uncle, all black eyes, just staring at my dad. And my dad slowly backed out of the room and closed the door and went to his room and closed his door and just laid there like, what the fuck? Eventually, my dad ends up falling asleep. He wakes up to his mom frantically looking for her brother. My father was the very last person to ever see that man. He ends up telling his mom that day what he saw the night before, how his uncle's eyes were all black, and the last words that he said were, she's not going to stop until she gets me. As soon as he tells his mother this, my grandma, he said my grandma just went into hysterics, fell into her knees and just started screaming, that's it, I'm never going to see my brother again. She's got him. She finally got him. My dad said at that very time, at that very moment, he didn't ask his mom, like, what do you mean? Because she was hysterical. He was focused on just consoling her. So about a year or two goes by. Uncle still missing. He is a missing person, never seen again, okay? So my dad says a year or two goes by and he finally asked his mom, what happened that day that Theo came in bleeding from his face? Like, and what did you mean that day, she finally got him? His mama goes on to tell him that when they were both little kids, his mama and his uncle, he had drowned one day at the beach, right? He full on drowned, like they had to resuscitate him and everything, right? He should have died that day. And when they had brought him back, that he talked about a woman in the water that wanted him as her baby, and that she wailed when he was pulled out of her arms. That's what she said that her brother was saying. I guess her brother, the uncle, was like a kid, like 3 or 4, if I remember correctly, like a little kid. So by saving his uncle, they had taken her baby that she had already claimed, that was already Yoshi's, because technically he had died. And the mother said that her brother, the uncle, would always say, because he's a little boy, he would always say, my mom's going to come back for me. My mom's going to come back for me. But he had like grown out of this, like he had forgotten completely about this lady. But nobody else forgot about it, especially the mom. The mom was older than him. My grandma goes on to tell my mom that when the uncle had gotten older, they had brought this up to him and he had no recollection of this lady. They had no idea what he was talking about. So they thought that was that, but they had always warned him when he was out in the water to please be mindful, please be careful, because she's out there. She claimed you. And he would always just laugh it off. She said that day, though, that day that his uncle went out to the ocean, she had came back for him. And that's the only reason that he was alive is because he fought her and pierced her. He had a knife in his boot, and that's the only thing that saved him. He had to pierce her. And she said that her brother said, the uncle, that when he saw her in the water, he first thought it was like a little girl, because he said he wasn't too far from the shore. So he said for some reason he thought it was a little girl in the water. He heard laughing. So he went to like go help this little girl. And he said when he saw her face that he immediately remembered everything that had happened to him when he was 4 years old. And he knew he was in danger. And the mom said that when he was telling the story to the mom, that as soon as he had come to the realization that he was in danger, she had attacked him. So he had to literally fight for his life that day to come back home. But my mom said he was already marked, that she's pretty sure that he had sleptwalked, which was really him hearing her song, her siren song.
Wow.
And went to the ocean, and she claimed him.
Never to be seen again.
Like the little legend that is passed down in my story. But he really is a missing person. Nobody knows what happened to Tio Roberto. Half of my family thinks he got too drunk one day and unalived himself and threw himself in the ocean. And the other half think she came back for him. What do you guys think?
Go throw themselves in the ocean. Now, I'm going to show y'all this, because this goes with this story. And I was like, wow, this sounds very similar to what she said happened with her uncle. Now, this is a different man, but this is crazy. Y'all look at this. Now, y'all see they're over there by the ocean. He's yelling and screaming into the water. And his family's trying to call him to get away from him. He's saying, listen to me. He's saying, where are you? Where are you? Y'all, he jumping into that water. Y'all see this shit?
That's crazy.
Ándale, güey. Eso querías, cabrón. Ya, levántate. Ya está. Salte de ahí. Sácate de ahí, cabrón. Chingada madre.
I'm going to need my Spanish speakers to get into the comments and tell me what is going on here, because what I've been able to put together with a couple other Spanish-speaking friends is that this gentleman is looking for somebody. He sees something in the water, and the woman behind him is saying, come back, don't go into the water. And he is saying, like, show yourself, come back. He's trying to go out there. And then somebody mentions that he's hypnotized to go into the water. That's kind of weird. Somebody translate this and let me know, because I think somebody is calling him into the water. Lure him, if you will.
He was losing his mind.
That's crazy.
He was losing his mind. And like, so when I saw that, I was like, because I found that after I saw the story about the uncle, and I was like, this is what that seems like could have happened, right? What do y'all think about that?
That's insane. That's scary. That was in Puerto Rico?
Yes, it was in Puerto Rico.
Yeah. I lived in Puerto Rico for a year, and I never saw anything crazy. I've been to the beach or whatever, but yeah, all these damn frogs. I think I would hear the damn frogs at night. Did you hear about
Cokies?
Oh yeah. Oh my God. The first week I had a headache. Then I finally got used to them, and I was yeah. But go ahead. My bad.
He said, Chosen one said he was on that shit.
Yeah.
And he was on drugs. Do y'all think it was drugs?
Somebody said K2.
Not K2. Who said K2?
Look up a little bit. Somebody said.
Do y'all really think he was on that stuff?
Ain't no telling.
I think he genuinely was either saw something or something with. Maybe I just want to believe that.
That's crazy. That's some
My
shit.
brother said he went and sat down with the witch and keep him far too fuck that. But you know what they say, that when you're on substances,
Yeah.
that it thins the veil.
Right. Like the mushrooms and all of that.
Yes.
Mhm.
They say, okay, those people, you think that they're hallucinating when they see certain things. It's kind of like, have y'all ever heard of ayahuasca?
Never heard of
Have
it.
y'all ever heard of that? It's so people go into the forest with the natives in South America, and they take this thing called ayahuasca, and what they say is you like go into other dimensions, right? And people actually go do it to find, like, if they're trying to heal or something like that, or they're trying to gain a deeper spiritual awareness. Joe Rogan talked about doing it, but my whole thing is I'm so nervous to do something like that and not be able to get back.
Right. Yeah. I hear
Like
about
you
that
playing
sometimes.
with fire.
Yeah. And you see those people on the street and stuff, and they brain don't look like it ever came back. You know, when you see those people.
That's what they were saying. So when y'all be asking me like why I don't do certain things, like I'm not a big smoker, I'm barely a drinker, I don't like to do a lot of substances. And the reason being, y'all, is because there are certain people, now it's not everybody, but it's certain people that when they do certain things, they can't get back. Like it triggers things like schizophrenia and things
Right.
like that. Is it a majority of people? No, but that's what I'm saying. I'm scared to go do those things and not be able to come back and be stuck in a spiritual limbo.
Yep. Mhm.
Okay, now you had some stories that you had to tell us about your supernatural encounters. Okay, so you were in a trip. Tell me about the trip in Louisiana. Tell me about
Right.
the trip to the. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so being from Louisiana, we always would go on these trips, even these school trips. But me and my mom went on a plantation trip. And a matter of fact, that plantation burned down about a year or two ago. But we were just taking a tour with about 30 people. It was about 10 black people and about 20 white people. And the tour guide was just showing us around. And we get to the second floor. We get on the balcony. And we walk around the balcony. And then we exit the balcony. It's a double door. So we come out. We come back inside the house, and the tour guide said, "Hey," it was a white guy in the back, all the way in the back. Me and my mom was in the middle, and the tour guide said, "Hey, could you please close the doors to the balcony?" And Mariah, when he said that, I heard like a deep voice say, "I got it." Sound like the nigga from the Samuel Jackson from the Django Got Chained.
Django.
Yeah, it sound. Okay. I heard the voice, and I promise you, those two doors closed. The wind ain't closed it or nothing. The doors was wide open. The first door closed, and the second door closed. And me and my mom.
And how close was the group to the doors?
Oh, we was about 10 feet away from the door because we was walking to the next room. And it was nobody near the door, and the first door closed, and then the second door closed, and I heard Samuel Jackson, Django Got Chained voice close those two doors. So that's, and people be lying and making up shit and all of that stuff. I heard that personally, and I saw it personally, and all 30 people. And so the tour guide said, yeah, we have all kinds of stuff like that happen. That was one of the spirits from the plantation house in Louisiana. And they just said it's just, they believe it's slaves, but they say I hear those stories all the time. The tour guide, he was like, yeah, that I see that always happens. He said, I heard it.
Did you feel an energy like there are certain parts? Like, let me explain. When I went to Peru, I don't care what nobody say, the worst hood I've ever been to, and this wasn't even the worst hood in Peru. This was the worst hood I've ever been to was Chorrillos in Peru, right? And what happened was I didn't know no better, and I accidentally booked an Airbnb in Chorrillos, so I had to get up out of there, right? Now, there were people who were saying Chorrillos is nice, but I didn't know that there's a very small section in Chorrillos that's nice and it's gated off. The rest of that shit straight up hood and it's scary.
Wow.
So when we were going there, the damn Uber driver was afraid. Okay. The Uber driver ain't gonna drop me off. Okay. And not just that. I felt an evil energy when I was there. It was a darkness and it was something old and ancient.
Yeah.
And I did not ignore what I was feeling. Y'all have to understand on those lands, especially when we talk about the Inca, there was a lot of human sacrifice that was done on those lands, right? And that's why I say it's an old energy. You can't see it. I can't even put words to it. But y'all would have to go there and you would know exactly what I'm talking about. And then so when I said this, a lot of Colombians and people, people like to play struggle Olympics. Oh, the hood is worse in Colombia. First of all, if you ain't never been outside the country, don't come tell me nothing, right? I will go to any hood in Colombia any day before I ever go back to that place. It was terrifying.
I didn't feel any dog. I didn't feel no spirits, but I felt the damn breeze when he closed that damn door. I felt that, and everybody was scared as shit. I know that. I know. And a couple white people said, "Well, we're gonna go ahead and exit because I don't want to finish doing the tour." So yeah, I mean,
they don't want nobody confusing them for their master and taking revenge. I know that's right. I would have got on too. I would have got on. I wouldn't have stayed. I'm not even gonna hold you. I wouldn't have finished that tour. I would have left.
You would have left. You would have left.
Yes, over.
And my mama, she said we ain't got nothing to worry about. That was our people. Don't even worry about it.
I don't care. Don't confuse me for nobody. Okay. And I be a little bit lighter when I be in the States. So I don't want no confusion. Absolutely not. Machu Picchu's supposed to have a Stargate there. Wow. Okay. All right. So you had another story or something that happened. What were we saying? In Mississippi.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Tell me about that.
So the Mississippi story, it was another ghost experience. My grandmothers live in the deep country. My grandmother's Indian, and they live like where all the Indians used to live and where they were killed at. But we heard a knock on the door one evening, and the knock. My grandmother said, "Who is it?" And I'm sitting. I'm about 10 years old, 10, 11 years old, and she said, "Who is it?" And they ain't saying nothing. So she opened the door, and it was nobody there. And then about 2 minutes later, the same knock happened. Who is it? Who is it? And she said, I don't know who this is playing at this damn door, but it's too late, blah, blah, blah. So she opened the door, and all we heard was footsteps. And when I heard the footsteps, I'm sitting there playing with my toy on the floor. And the rocking chair right next to me just started rocking. Footsteps and then rocking, Mariah. And then my grandmama, she's, like I said, she's half Indian black. And she said, "You are not invited here. Whoever you are, get out my house right now." And then,
she a real gangster.
Oh, she a gangster. Yeah, she a gangster.
Talking shit to it. Because, baby, I would have been like, this is your house. Yeah. I'm getting out. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. My bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Never coming back here.
The rocking chair stopped when she said that. And we didn't hear no footsteps or nothing. She just left the door open. and then she closed the door about 2 or 3 minutes later. But that night, I promise you, I was about 10, 11 years old, and that night, I slept with my grandmama that whole night and curled up and up underneath the sheets. And we had them old school sheets where they weighed about 10 pounds. I was up underneath them damn sheets.
Man, them the best sheets. Man, I used to love going over my great granny house. Oh,
Yeah.
I used to love going to my Mimi.
Yeah.
Mommy. I used to love going to mommy's house because, baby, I know that mattress was decades old in them sheets, but baby, it used to feel so good. Get in my great grandmama bed.
Especially when it was cold, you get up under there and they get warm. It feels like somebody holding you.
Yeah, and then look, she used to go. She ain't had no gas in the house, so she used to go boil. She had an old house in Oak Cliff in Texas, in Dallas. So she used to go put the pot of water in there, boil the hot water to make a bath. You go sit in that bath, bathe real good, then get in that bed, baby. Come on now.
That's right. Yeah. But yeah, that's my two experiences. I had a little UFO experience, but I mean, I don't talk about nothing. And you hear about these experiences and things like that, but I don't talk about nothing unless I really experience it. I believe some people out there telling lies and on that K2 like they said, but yeah, it's some
not on that K2.
They got some real shit. They got some real shit out there.
But chat, y'all don't think that K2 make people see stuff? Y'all don't think see stuff that other people can't see? Like that it thins the veil. JB Design says, when I was on vacation in Belize, I had done a tour of the Olmec Empire ruins. And one thing that stood out was that it was dead quiet in broad daylight. They say when it's quiet like that, when it's dead quiet like that, to where even the crickets or the insects get quiet, that's when spirits. Have y'all ever been somewhere and it just out of nowhere is silence? And what I mean silence, you know how normally you might hear some crickets, you can hear something.
Right.
When you don't hear nothing, that's when something supernatural is happening to even nature know, be quiet. And even nature don't want to be heard. Felt like we were being watched. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah. Would you ever go camping in the forest? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I have twice, and I'm not going back.
Why?
Well, I'm just not going back because what I know now and what I went through, I had a situation I went through when I was younger. But so it was like a little retreat, a little Catholic retreat or something like that. But it's just. I don't think we need to be out there because that's their territory. Whoever it is, that's their territory.
Fact. I agree. I've seen UFOs as well, but it's always at night, so my phone never picks up. I had a student when I was teaching high school. This is right before I went to Medellin, and I knew the student wasn't playing or trying. I knew it wasn't AI because AI wasn't big at that time, right? He say, I gotta show you something, but please don't tell nobody. Like he was embarrassed. Yeah. Like he felt crazy, even though he had the proof. He showed me a video of his backyard and there were 2 orbs, right? And they weren't drones, right? We know the difference between drones, and they were kind of like zipping and circling, but they weren't drones, right? And it was so weird, like it was crazy. And I didn't know until we were talking about it today, Coach, that Texas is a hot spot for UFO sightings.
And that's when I saw what I saw in Dallas, Texas. But I don't know what I went to school right there by T.D. Jakes' church, and I went to Dallas Baptist University, and I was sitting on the hill, and I looked up in the sky, and I just saw a big disc. And when I saw the disc, I looked up at it for about 30 seconds, and then it just took off. And it looked like in 15, 20 seconds, it was gone. I was like,
yeah.
What? So Texas, I hear stories all the time about in Texas, people see so many UFOs in Texas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a hotbed, and I think we have all those military bases there. On top of that, Misha gonna say, Mariah, you scared me. LOL, come on, I gotta meet you in October. I've never had any supernatural experiences, girl. I'm just interested in it, and when I say I'm interested in it, I'm scary about my interest. Like there are certain things that I would never do. Like for example, I'm not playing on no Ouija board.
Right.
I'm not going out in the middle of the woods and doing those spells, or I ain't doing that type of shit. Okay. I told y'all, it's certain things like the worst drug I will do. I will smoke weed, but even that, I do it maybe once a year. Yeah. Like I smoked weed on my birthday because my friends were there,
How did you feel? What happened?
Nothing. I'm always like a little laughy. It's just, again, I told y'all, I'm scared to do stuff like that and not be able to come back.
Right.
And I know to y'all, you're like, it's just, you don't know what it could be.
Have you ever heard? Because I've heard of some people not coming back from.
Yeah, no, there are people that don't come back after they smoke weed. It's rare, but it happens.
Have you ever heard of somebody like personally?
No, I haven't heard of anybody doing drugs and not coming back, but I've heard neuroscientists and people who work in that area, psychology and stuff, psychiatrists who have talked about that happening, like on the record, talked about seeing that. Most of the time they say this person already had like a predisposition for it, but how do you know? You know what I'm saying? Like most of the people that had that predisposition didn't know they had it. Mm-hmm. And they did something they were supposed to do and didn't come back.
You're right. And it's
the only way you would know is if you had a family member.
Right.
So for example, if you have like a mother or a grandparent or a great grandparent who has something like schizophrenia, you probably shouldn't be doing any type of substances like that.
I know 2 high school guys I graduated with, and 2 of my cousins, they never came back.
Yeah.
So
who I'm thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
And what did they do?
I don't know what type of drugs they did, but they did drugs or some type of marijuana or crack. I don't know what they did, but they never came back.
You remember Delonte West?
Yeah.
Is that who it is? That was on the streets homeless in Dallas?
Yeah.
And he was fine. He was playing basketball. Now he out of his mind, can't get back. Right. The Bible talks about this. It's called a reprobate mind, where they get you so far gone, you can't come back.
Right.
So I don't play with myself like that.
Right.
I don't play with myself like that.
Lil Boosie told a story. He took some type of drug. And he said he was running down the street in his drawers, and he said a devil with a pitchfork was chasing after him.
Oh hell no!
Yeah. So he said the devil was running down the highway. He was running down the highway, and the devil was chasing.
Yeah, look, JB Design said, I've also heard about weird things happening throughout the South, especially Texas and Louisiana, specifically around New Orleans. Yeah, we were talking about that at the beginning of this live. So for those of y'all who are just now, so first of all, if y'all are here, hit the like button, support these fun topics like this. I know a lot of y'all come to see the drama in the travel space, but honestly and truly, it's other stuff that we could be talking about that's more fun, more interesting. I mean, it's only so much you can talk about hoes and stuff like that, or it's only so much we can talk about dating abroad. I mean, I'm gonna keep talking about that kind of stuff if y'all want to hear it. But like, let's expand our horizons.
I like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's get into some other stuff. So y'all hit the like button, y'all hit the subscribe, support the channel, and in any way you can, like, subscribe, whatever the case may be.
And then you got my daughter. You and my daughter got a food program coming up in the next couple of days, so that's awesome.
Yes, for those of y'all who don't know, me and Coach John's daughter Soul are doing a cooking channel here in the Dominican. Well, she has her channel, but we're gonna be doing cooking. I'm gonna be getting with her. We're gonna be cooking Dominican food together, and we're gonna be talking about culture. So she's gonna be talking about there, and not just that, his wife, Dominga, is going to be on there. She got in the kitchen and helped us too, because she's more of like the professional when it comes to Dominican cooking. So she had to get in there and help us a little bit when we did the episode. So we appreciate her for that. So it's like y'all are going to see women in the kitchen. They're going to be sharing their culture with us, and I'll be explaining how we do some things differently in the United States. So it's going to be a cultural exchange, great food. This for our first episode, we cooked Dominican pastelón, y'all. Chef kiss. It was amazing. So y'all make sure that y'all subscribe to Food for the Soul. Also, for those of y'all who are interested in trading, day trading, but you don't want to do it yourself, I got you. In the description box, there is a link to sign up. I have an account, so I have my own money invested into this as well. And basically, this is through Trade Pilot, and they have master traders, and the master traders make all the trades. So these are humans, and the bots replicate the trades in your brokerage account. So you might have it through Webull or Robinhood or whatever the case may be. What this does for you is this gives you freedom. You don't have to do the trades. It's completely passive. You pay people, you pay a monthly subscription to have them do the trades, and you earn profit by the end of the month. Instead of keeping your money in a savings account or putting it in a long-term investment account, you're going to see gains a lot faster. So if that's something that you're interested in, schedule a call. The link is in the description box. Okay.
So yeah, we're gonna be talking in the next couple of days, because I definitely want you to help me out.
Oh no, I got you for sure. Also, if you were interested in, if you want a job to move abroad, you just don't have a skill set, you can do the Live Abroad Academy. It's Robert's Academy, y'all. But the good thing about this academy, I'm actually going through it. After you get trained, he will send you where you need to go to do job interviews, right? And so that you can be able to get a job. So you go, it's a really good academy. He took his time with it, and he does classes 3 nights out of the week. Okay, so you can get practice. There's also AI practice, so you can practice sales. So if you would like to do that, if you've been looking for a way to go abroad, but you just don't have a job, high ticket sales is completely remote. And if you get good and you practice it, you can make a lot of money. Okay. So if that's something that you're interested in, the link is to sign up is also in the description box. Use my code Mariah10 and you will get 10% off. Now is the time to get in, because he's made it to where you can enter. He put some type of discount where the barrier to entry is a lot lower. So now would be the time. All right, guys. That's so dope. Can't wait to see it. Yes, I'm excited.
It's gonna be awesome. Excited. It's about an hour long, so it's nice. It's very nice.
It's gonna be good.
Y'all talking about all kinds of things too, so yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's not boring at all.
Yeah.
There are other beings, some agreeable and some disagreeable. The info has been out there. Now, another phenomenon that I want to talk about, I'm a person, how many of y'all like to go to Louisiana? I love going to New Orleans. I think that New Orleans is, first of all, to me, in terms of culture, New Orleans is such a gem, and we're very lucky to have it, in the United States. Now, you didn't grow up in New Orleans, right? What part of Louisiana are you from?
Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and Opelousas. But New Orleans, the Lafayette, Opelousas, Lawtell, those small little towns, they have that same feeling and the same feel and the same story. So Baton Rouge, that's just like it's really nothing excited besides LSU and Southern University. But if you wanna see some stories and go to some ghost stories and plantations and they have tours. You can go on tours in New Orleans, just like you were saying. You can go on night tours at 12 midnight, and they take you in some of those in the cemeteries, and they take you in there. You got to go, Mariah. You got to check it out. It's like
I wouldn't go by myself, but I would go.
No. It's usually about you gonna it's I don't never see too many black people. It's mostly white folks, 20, 30 white folks, and
They love playing with fire.
and
You know us black people, we know better.
Yeah, that's right. They have their little notepad and they goggles going.
They gotta get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, they
get to the bottom of that, and I believe it.
Some of them have little meters in their hand and trying to and Ouija boards, and they trying to bring the spirits and everything.
I don't play with no Ouija boards, none of that. I don't go doing no ghost hunting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I would do if I saw some type of spirit.
You wouldn't go on a midnight a cemetery tour in New Orleans?
It would have to be with somebody I already knew, and we would have to be in a really big group. And you best believe I'm not deviating. We not falling behind in this mug. We not in the back of the line nor the front of the line. We gonna be in the middle somewhere in the mix. Cause baby, I'm not getting picked off by nothing.
They talk about orbs a lot on those tours. They talk about orbs and they take videos of orbs and things floating by them and all of that stuff. But yeah. I mean, the crazy part about it, that all this stuff, we have all this technology, and you're like, I don't see stuff. We don't see stuff. That's what pisses me off. Like they have some type of cloth or a cloaking device or something like that, because everybody got an iPhone, everybody got a phone or Android or recording, and then you got live cameras everywhere. Like you do see stuff on TV, but you don't know if it's AI or not.
Have you seen those videos where people who have Teslas? You know, Teslas can detect heat or whether or not somebody is coming in front of you. Like they'll show like the little bodies.
Right.
And these people will go into the cemeteries and there will be nobody around, but the Tesla is picking up.
Yeah, people walking and stuff like that. I saw this. I saw this DoorDash guy. Did you see the DoorDash guy? He was dropping something off, and it was a ghost pulling on his door.
Ooh, no, I didn't see that.
Trying to get in, and I don't even think he delivered the damn food. He didn't even get out, and he was by a cemetery. I guarantee you some people in the chat saw it, but look that up. Yeah, the guy, he was like,
okay, I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, something was pulling on his door, and like it got in or something, and he was just like, oh shit. I don't know if he delivered the food or not, but he was right by a cemetery. He said, I'm never delivering in this area ever again.
Let me see if I can find a video. Until then, have y'all ever heard of a phenomenon when you're in Louisiana on Bourbon Street over there, you know, where they party? Have y'all ever heard of something called card shuffling?
Yeah, I see that all the time. I've never done it, but I see people all the time doing it, and I just don't pay my damn money to do it. I've been
no, that's not what I'm talking about.
Now I've been pissy drunk and went to sleep on Bourbon Street a couple times, but that's
why would you do that?
Because I don't know, I was drunk, and you can drink on the, I was young, I was in high school.
Oh, I think this is the video. Let me share this real quick, and then we'll go to the card shuffling, okay? Because I don't think you know what I'm talking about.
What the fuck is shit creepy?
So, the driver of the DoorDash.
Yeah.
I can't get my daggone company straight. And you're going to see a vibration. Good. See tapping at the window.
Oh, the car vibrating.
That's here.
Oh shit, somebody tapping on the window, y'all. Trying to open the door.
That's crazy.
Oh shit! Trying to look and see somebody down there. Ain't nobody there.
No.
They wouldn't have got their damn food that day.
With a leg strike. And he's by a cemetery, y'all.
Right.
Oh hell! What the?
Look, there ain't nobody there.
Nope.
Yeah.
No.
What the fuck? This shit creepy.
Baby, no. No.
It's crazy.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I would have said, hey, I would have paid for I would say, hey, you got to reorder your food.
Baby,
I cash app you $20, but I'm not finna drop this shit off.
and not because what? I could not imagine being in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm gonna explain to y'all what card shuffling is. Well, let me see. I think I have a video that will explain it, and I think that would be better for y'all to watch it from the video. It's not okay. Y'all are gonna see.
That's crazy. You found that video quick. That's the video I was talking about.
Okay, let me share my page.
Card shuffling.
Everybody
Let's
hit
talk
that
about
like
it.
button.
So
Whoever
first off, card shuffling.
Go ahead.
Yes, hit the like button, subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Let's go.
Page right now. And so I went to New Orleans back in June, and I just got back from New Orleans from the Sugar Bowl. And so naturally, my For You page is just nothing but New Orleans stuff, New Orleans stories, all that jazz. And when I went in June and I got back, I discovered the term called card shuffling. And if you don't know, like you can look it up here on TikTok. Card shuffling essentially is like when people experience, you see one thing, like a bar, a hotel, a restaurant, it's there, 100% there. And then like the next day, a few hours later, it's not. There's no sign of it. There's nothing at all. That's really creepy. And because my For You page is like all card shuffling stories, like I wanted to share my experience I had in June. So there's a bar on Bourbon Street. I think it's called the Beach on Bourbon or Bourbon Beach, something like that. Like I can picture it clear as day. I might even have a picture I can just like put right here, but I remember it was like blue and yellow surfboard, like logo looking thing. And like the logo had like a yellow sun on it, and it had glasses, and it was like the Beach on Bourbon, something like that. I don't even know. And it's just like on Bourbon Street. I couldn't tell you where because I'm not from there. I don't know. So back in June, I stayed for a week for my friend's birthday. And the first day we got there, we touched down. Like we were like just kind of checking out the city. And we were in Bourbon Street and we saw this bar. Mind you, it was nighttime. We had a few drinks in us. We just saw it. It was no cover. We went in. I was pretty lit. So like, I didn't really pay any mind. I thought it was like weird how like they had a bunch of water fountains with fire in them. I know that's like weird, but like, I don't know why that just like stood out to me. And my friend at the time whose birthday it was, she kept saying that she felt like this group of people were staring at her. But again, I didn't pay any mind. I was really lit. We ended up leaving because it got really late. We called the Uber. On the way to the Uber, we got stopped by a man who was doing like Bourbon Street interviews. And like, I don't even remember what we were saying, what we were asked. I just remember him talking to us for like 30 seconds. And then we got in the Uber and left. The next day, my friend's whose birthday it was, her dad got there the next day. And so we're like walking around the city with him, like again. So we're in the same area we were the day before. We walk past this bar, like the bar on Bourbon or Beach on Bourbon, whatever it was called. And it was there, but it had like wood boards on the windows because like the windows are open. It had windows and just like boards of stuff on the door. Like it had it had been vacant for like days, even years. Like it had looked like there was no sign of life. There was literal. I should have took a picture. I did not take a picture when we saw it. We were just like, we were all like, what? Like we were there last night. Like I was there, and it was like lively. And when we were there, it looked like there was never, ever any sign of anything. Like you wouldn't think that we were just there like 8 hours before partying. I still think about it like to this day, and I'm like, well, maybe like they were closing it down. Maybe they genuinely, were getting rid of it. Until I went for the Sugar Bowl and walked right past it, and it was
it was a normal bar. It was open. It had people come in. It had the no cover sign like I saw the first time. So I genuinely cannot explain how that second night we went in, or that second day we went in June, it looked like no one had ever been in there for years, because it literally had boards of wood all in the windows, all in the doors, like no one had ever been there before, or like for years. And I still can't explain that. So I just wanted to share that with the TikTok. Please.
Have y'all ever been? So that's basically what card shuffling is. It's like you go somewhere and you think it's in one spot. It can be like you go somewhere and you think it's in one spot and then it gets moved to another spot. Or you go somewhere, it's still in that spot, but it looks completely different than when you were there before. And it's like very weird. It can either look like it's closed down or it's vacant or something like that. So that's what card shuffling is.
Well,
have you heard of that before?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I have, but I'm gonna give you two things that may have happened. Well, I'll give you one thing that may have happened. Bourbon Street. I've been on Bourbon Street 300 times. So Bourbon Street. If you go to the next street over to the right or to the left, a lot of that shit is shut down.
Hey, Royal.
Okay. Oh, yeah. A lot of that shit is shut down. So some of that stuff is boarded up. Also, so she may have thought she was on Bourbon Street. And I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying that, like, I'm giving you, because a couple times.
Like what it could have been.
It could have been something else. I've been fucked up before on Bourbon. I thought I was on Bourbon Street, and I look up, I'm on the next damn street over, and it's pitch black, wooded, boarded up, and all of that stuff. Also, if you go too far down, and if you go, and everybody that's been on Bourbon Street, they know this, you have to turn around at a certain point because it's dark, it's black back there, and then they got all the gay clubs are back there. So it's a spot on Bourbon Street. You got to turn around because all the gay people go back there. And I ain't got nothing against gay people, but I just know it's a spot you got to turn around because they got, I don't know how many gay clubs back there, but it's gay clubs, and then it's a lot of shit boarded up back there. So she could have went past them damn gay clubs, or she could have been on the next street over, or it could have been some shit like from card reading or whatever. So
the card shuffling. Leslie, I think she's talking about card shuffling here in this video.
So there's a freaky phenomenon that happens in New Orleans where businesses and buildings, and sometimes people, tend to disappear and reappear and disappear once more. How this happens, it depends on who you ask. But one thing remains the same. This really does happen. It's happened to me, and it's happened to a ton of others. I talked about it before, and I told my first experience, but I wanted to open the floor up for if any of y'all have experienced this. Stitch this and tell us the story. Some people call it card shuffling. And a lot of times this happens in the French Quarter, which, as you know, is a hot spot for paranormal, supernatural activity. A lot of accounts say that this happens around 3 a.m. And some people said that they've experienced this around Savannah, Georgia, and some parts of Florida. But I know for sure this happens in Louisiana. So let me know.
They say that 3 a.m., y'all, this is why I don't like to be out around at 3 o'clock. I don't like to be out, and I don't like to wake up at 3 in the morning because these are the witchy hours. Okay. So I don't like to be out. I like to be in my bed asleep by 3 a.m.
And they do have the late night tours at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning in New Orleans.
And that's when they say basically at 3 a.m., that's when the veil is the thinnest wherever you are.
Right.
Outside of, because again, those days where I could do a whole show just on this, but all around the world, they have some form of Halloween. All cultures have some, whether it's Dia de los Muertos, All Saints Day, they have practiced some form. And I was watching like an archaeology video, and it seems like there was some phenomenon that happens that all cultures knew, regardless of if they had connection to each other, that this was a spiritual day, and that's when the veil is the thinnest. Well, then on a day to day at 3 a.m., that's when the veil is super thin. So again, I've never experienced anything supernatural, but I don't play. So at 3 a.m., you will not see me out and about. And when I wake up at 3 a.m., I pray because, baby, I'm like, why are you waking me up at this time, Lord?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I think I probably have some. My grandparents, my Creole and Cajun grandparents, they probably protected me from all that because I don't have none of that stuff in Louisiana happen to me. So yeah, so like I can go to sleep on Bourbon Street or in the backwoods or something like that and don't nothing happen to me. But I think it's just certain people have different gates. That's my point. If that gate is open, then you are vulnerable to seeing what you see or whatever. So thank God I don't have that. Maybe
because I ain't trying to see nothing.
Yeah. Maybe I'm just.
I don't need them.
Maybe
I don't
I'm
need
just,
them spiritual gifts.
exactly. Yeah, that's true. Right. Maybe I'm just a Cajun coon ass from Louisiana that just been a part of it, and they just like, that nigga from over here, we ain't finna mess with him.
Yeah, maybe, because, hey, but you consider yourself blessed. Okay, I think she has a story to tell.
Apparently, when you walk around New Orleans, you always feel watched. And there's a reason why, according to this man who emailed, and he said that his Creole grandmother told him a story that still sticks with him. And he said she's long past, but she would probably want people to know this story so that when they go there, they know to be respectful. If you're new here, this series is called Spooky Scary Storytime. It's a series where I share listeners' allegedly true stories about the most unbelievable or creepy things that ever happened to them. Sometimes I get elder stories. Those are some of my favorites. But the last few nights I've been doing Louisiana stories, and y'all have really seemed to enjoy it. So I figure let's continue the trend because I've been enjoying this too. This is Marcel's story, and he said when he was growing up, his grandmother always said that New Orleans specifically didn't haunt people, but it watched who knew how to behave. And when he was little, he remembers telling her that he didn't like the feeling of being watched when he was walking down the street or when he went anywhere. He always felt like there were eyes on him. And when he told his grandmother this, she smiled. She tells him, no, baby, that's protection. And he says, what do you mean? And she says, only fools feel unwatched here. And she goes, I have a story for you about my old neighbor named Odette. And apparently Odette moved next to the grandmother long before Marcel was born. He tells him that Odette wasn't from Louisiana. She was from somewhere clean and quiet where the dead rested. Moved into this narrow cottage next to his grandmother's house, and his grandmother went over there to introduce herself. And one of the first things she tells Odette is, you should introduce yourself to the house. And Odette just like laughs at her. And Odette notices the grandmother's just quiet. She's like, well, what am I supposed to say to introduce myself to the house? And the grandmother says, well, just tell it who you are and why you're here. She's like, tell it your name so the house knows who's inside and it knows to watch you. And Odette's like, that's weird. I'm not going to do that. But she did other things that were kind of careless and disrespectful to the neighborhood as well. Like when she would walk around at night, she would make a lot of noise. She would sing loudly. She would talk to people and ask questions she had no business asking. She would also walk past the corner shrine. I'm not sure if this was part of her house or like something on the block, but she would walk past the corner shrine without touching it or acknowledging it, which really, really bothered the grandmother. But Marcel's grandmother said she really messed up because one day the grandmother was outside, she's watching Odette, she's on the porch, and she takes down this little bundle of cloth that's been tied up on the porch, and she takes it down and she throws it in the trash. The grandmother sees it and thinks that she just doesn't know any better, and she walks over and she says, you really shouldn't take down what you didn't put up. And Odette says, I don't like weird decor. Something along those lines. And Marcel's grandmother tries to explain to her, like, just because you don't believe in something doesn't mean it doesn't believe in you, or something to that effect. She basically tells her, certain things are put into place because certain things are watching you to make sure that you keep an even score, to make sure that you're being respectful, that you respect the space, and in turn they'll watch you, they'll protect you. And Odette tells her, like, I don't like being watched, it gives me anxiety, I don't need anybody looking out for me. She does tell Marcel's grandmother that she has felt watched since she moved into the city, and that it just always feels like the walls are leaned in listening to her. Marcel's grandmother tries to explain to her that certain things are older than she is and have been around longer than she's ever lived here, ever considered living here, but it kind of falls on Odette's deaf ears. Like, she doesn't really care, and Marcel's grandmother kind of figures it's a lost cause, so she just goes home. About a week after that, Odette comes over to the grandmother's house, and she's like, hey, something really weird is happening at my house. Like, what, can I ask you a question? And Marcel's grandmother's like, yeah, what's going on? And she's like, all of the candles in my house keep going out at night. And his grandmother says, well, who did you light them for? And she says, myself. Marcel's grandmother's like, well, that's your problem. Like, you have to light them so they can see you. It's not for you. Odette says, well, whatever's going on, at least it seems to be helping because I don't feel watched in my house anymore. And Marcel's grandmother knew that something was off. Like, when she said that she didn't feel watched anymore, she knew that there was a problem. Tells Marcel at that point that she knew that it was absence, not quiet. After that, apparently, Odette just went along her way. She didn't really have much interaction with Marcel's grandmother. I'm not sure how long she lived in the house, but there was one night, apparently, that Marcel's grandmother woke up and she said the whole neighborhood felt off. Like, all the dogs were quiet. One of the grandmother's friends' rosaries had snapped or something that day, which they took as a sign to mean that something was wrong. Marcel says that he knows that there was another story with the rosary, but he can't remember all the details of it. The morning after, there were a bunch of police at Odette's house, and her boyfriend, or the man she had been seeing, had gone into her house after not hearing from her, and they had plans or something. He found her sitting at the kitchen table with all of her candles burned down, and she was just at the kitchen table with her eyes still open.
She was
They didn't
unalive.
suspect any foul play. They
Wow.
figured it had to be like some kind of internal issue, but they noticed that all of the mirrors in the house were turned to face the walls. Even stranger, she tells Marcel that carved on the wood inside the front door is the word unwitnessed, like deep in the wood, like someone had really put some effort into putting it there. Marcel says he was just a little boy when his grandmother told his story, so he was like shook, and he was like, well, what happened to her? And his grandmother just shook her head, and she said nothing took her, but she sent everything away. Marcel says, well, if you could have protected her, why didn't you protect her? And he remembers his grandmother saying, because protection is a relationship. Tells him she didn't want to be seen. She didn't want to be protected. And that night she came into his room when he was ready for bed, and she lit a candle in the window. And he looked at her, remembering the story, and he said, well, who's that for? And she said, just so that they know who's in here, wants to be seen, and who's still grateful. And he says he doesn't really know if she told him that story to scare him. He doesn't really know if there was any truth to it, but he said he thought it was interesting to share. He said he no longer lives in Louisiana, but his respect and belief in things that are older than us and things we don't understand goes deep. He said, this is a story I always tell people whenever they complain about feeling watched in Louisiana, because it's not a bad thing. If you have a story you think nobody would believe, please send it in. I try to post a new one.
And they say it's a lot in Louisiana, like vampires, all kind of. Have you heard about the vampires in Louisiana?
I've heard about vampires, but I'll tell you one story. You just it's not a ghost story, but I'll tell you one story about voodoo, and I've seen it with my own eyes. Well, there's this lady that got into it with another lady, and the voodoo doctor or the treater or the whatever you want to call her, she said, get a piece of her hair. And so the lady, she found out she couldn't cut a piece of her hair. So she found out where she get her hair done at, and she got some of her hair cut. And the barber or the lady that what do you call that? Not the barber, but the lady that the salon lady.
The hairdresser.
Hairdresser. She gave her a piece of her hair, and she gave it to the witch doctor, and that hair is still up there today. It's like a long piece of hair, and that lady died the next day after they put her hair in a tree.
Wow. But y'all, this is okay. This is the second story we heard today. I told y'all this was this lady. Did y'all see the barber? Not the hairstylist. This was on all recorded. She went into a customer came in and she had chicken blood in her hair. And the hairstylist washed the chicken blood out, and the next day her daughter got unalived.
Right.
So you got to be careful not only about who you let in your hair. That's why the old folks used to not let everybody in their hair.
But let me say
you
this,
gotta be
Mariah.
careful who you let in your hair. You got to be careful whose hair you touch.
That's right. But I'm gonna say this: if I go by there right now in Opelousas, that hair is still hanging from that tree.
Wow.
Yeah,
I wouldn't touch it.
It's a long piece of hair, and that witch doctor, a voodoo lady, put that hair up there, and we passed by it, and we always pass by it in my family. I always say, yeah, that's that hair that voodoo lady put up there, and that lady died the next day, and it's still up there.
This why it's certain people I don't mess with. Like, I don't make Haitians mad, because once the Haitians tell you they going to Haiti on you, that's it. It's over for you.
And Louisiana the religion was the Haitian religion.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know that. So first of all, let me address this. Is this an open panel for others to share their own paranormal stories? Well, if you would like to come up, you can. The link is in the chat. So if you have a story, but the thing is, before you come up, you're going to have to cam up, because you don't got to cam up when you're on the stage. But I need to see who you are behind the scene, because people be trying to show their little thing-a-ling. Okay. Right. And I can't have that on my channel. So the link is in the chat, guys. So there was for those of y'all who don't know, I went down to history, but in Louisiana, especially New Orleans, used to be a major port city. It still is, but New Orleans at first was colonized by first y'all know the natives were there. Then the French had it.
Right.
Then the Spanish took over, right? And not just that, you had the Acadians that came from French Canada.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but you have the Mississippi River, so everything was dropped off there.
Dropped off there, right? And then you had the Cajuns, the Acadians,
Right.
after the French-American War that came down to Louisiana too.
Right.
Okay, so you had the French that owned it, you had the Acadians coming in there, then the Spanish owned it, and then the French got a hold of it again, and then the French sold it to the United States.
Louisiana Purchase.
But yeah, in the Louisiana Purchase, right? And so you have people like to say, okay, well, that area is just, used to just be French, but it's really, Louisiana is so diverse. Their bloodline is so diverse. That's why their French sounds so different, that French Creole, than the French that's spoken in actual France. And then on top of that, they have a whole bunch of Haitian influence, because after that, the Haitian revolutions, a lot of Haitians went. You have to understand, New Orleans, Louisiana was considered the northernmost Caribbean city, just like any other Caribbean island would be, right? So, their culture changed a lot, but not, a lot of things changed after the U.S. got a hold of it. But culturally, New Orleans used to be more similar in culture to like somewhere like Haiti or Dominican Republic,
right,
or Puerto Rico. Okay.
Right. Before
Firewater, I see you. Hi, how are you? Okay, this is a woman.
Yep.
Hey, Firewater, how are you?
I'm doing good. I will turn my camera back off because I don't have good lighting.
You're all right. How you doing?
Okay, don't worry.
I'm doing good.
Hold up, you sound like you are from the South, like Oklahoma or Louisiana or Mississippi.
Nope, none of them.
Where you from?
You from Appalachia?
Yes, hon.
Oh my goodness!
No, I know you got a story to tell.
I got too many of them.
What's that white guy? What's that white guy that has all the videos all the time about Appalachia?
I don't know.
He always talks
to people that talk about it.
No, but this guy's like huge. He got like 1 million followers. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry, sweetie. Go ahead.
Okay, real quick, shout out to Prime. He said there's a city in DR known for brujeria. It's called San Juan. Oh, y'all want me to go? Okay, y'all go ahead. The floor is yours.
I'm sorry that I joined in the middle of you telling something. I would love for you to continue telling it.
You good? You good?
No, I'm excited to have you here. Go ahead.
Okay. I will start off with where I live now. There's stories for years, but for now is my whistling story. I did not believe. Everybody told me do not whistle at night. And I was like, I'm a whistler. I go around the house when I'm cleaning, when I'm cooking, and I whistle. And I went outside and I was feeding the animals, and I was just doing my little whistling tune. And just so happened I'm doing the Beetlejuice tune. Everybody knows that.
Mm-hmm.
It was dark. I was feeding after dark when I shouldn't have. I should have already fed, but we had a long day.
Right.
And mind you, around us is 80 acres of nothing but woods. Thick, dark woods.
Oh, baby, no.
So I fed the first dog, and I was still whistling, and didn't even make it to the other dog. And the whistle came back to me. And I stopped, and I was like, oh, no, I'm going crazy. So I just waited for a minute. I was like, maybe it's an owl, whatever. So then I started going on to feed the other dog, and the whistle came closer, and it was the exact Beetlejuice.
Right.
Why did I say that? Adam's Family tune.
Right.
Oh, the da-da-da-da.
Yeah, and I was whistling it. I whistle both all the time. But it was the Addams Family tune. And it came straight back to me. And before I made it to the second dog to feed, it was so close that it felt like somebody had a speaker up in the woods playing it to me. And it was a straight whistle. It was no echo, no nothing. And I threw food at that dog, literally threw it at the dog. And I ran in the house.
Wow. Yeah, girl. Now you broke a cardinal rule. You are not supposed to whistle out there.
I didn't believe them because I've lived in the woods all my life, and all I've ever did was whistle. I think I believe I learned how to whistle before I learned how to talk. And that was my
Oh,
first experience of don't whistle at dark because they whistle back. Well, they do whistle back, and they will whistle better than you whistle.
and who do you think they is?
I don't know what it is. It's just something out there. I believe in God, full force. But 80 acres of woods and nobody lives there. What is whistling back?
Yeah. Well, you know, here's the thing. You know, God says that we wrestle with spirits and principalities. So even God acknowledges that, you know.
Yes.
So here's the thing. Did you experience anything else after that?
Well, a couple times when I went out to check on my animals at dark, it's just something that happens. I always want to check on them before I go to bed, and I would hear voices sound like people was echoing around me,
Oh no.
like they was
Oh
talking in
hell,
circles.
baby.
Like
Now, do
if
you
you
believe?
was what?
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, I was gonna say, ask you, do you believe? Because I've heard people they go out in those woods just to like get lost or get away from society and go live off the grid. Do you believe that there might be like feral people out there living in the woods?
No, there ain't no feral people here because we are the feral people.
Okay.
We are as
Okay.
feral as they get here. But no, I'm telling you, behind where I live right now, 80 acres of nothing but woods. We have neighbors, but they're all older folks that are 60 and above. They never go out of their house unless they are going to the doctor. And, you know, everybody has their dogs and chickens and stuff, and it's quiet almost all the time. But then the echoes of the voices, and you could almost tell what they're saying. And it sounds like it's an old style radio, like when Hank Sr. was alive or Willie Nelson was on the radio. Like they're not speaking about what is happening today. They're speaking about what's happening way back then. And I'm not the only one. There's tons of people that's talked about it around here.
So what are some of the rules of living in Appalachia if you don't want to encounter this kind of thing?
Well, I learned the hard way, no whistling in the woods. But you're not even supposed to go towards the woods at the nighttime in the Appalachian Mountains. What'd you call it? Appalachian?
How do you say it? How do y'all say it?
I say Appalachian Mountains.
Appalachian. Okay, I'm from
But
Texas.
but everybody's different, of course.
Yeah, no, in Texas we say Appalachia.
Appalachia.
But y'all say Appalachian.
I tried to say it, but it didn't sound right.
Okay. So you can't whistle. Don't go towards the woods.
Yeah, you can't whistle. You can't go towards the woods. You're not supposed to leave any type of meat or valuables at the edge of the woods because that would seem like a offering to whatever's in the woods. I've heard that a couple times. I did not like that.
Oh hell, okay. Not an offering.
And
Kinda
then
like
there's
stray dogs.
yeah, and then if you tie up your animals on a lead at the edge of the woods, they could be corrupted into a skinwalker.
Wow.
Do you know anybody who has seen a skinwalker?
My cousin swore he seen one day, that there was a deer that was out in the field when he was going to work, and this deer turned into a skinwalker. He said it stood on its hind legs and walked across the road, and then once it got to the edge of the road, it turned back into its normal self.
Wow. So y'all, in Haiti, they call these a lugao. A lugao. Some people call it a rougarou. Lugao. There are different ways to say it. They're said to have been seen in Florida, in the islands, in Appalachia, and also in Louisiana, specifically southern Louisiana. And these are like basically shapeshifters, people who, you know, they can turn into animals and things like that. I don't know if y'all saw True. Go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
It just reminded me a while back, we have a pit bull and Labrador mix. Well, she has never been normal. Her skin condition's not normal. Nothing's normal. But one night, I went out there to check on her. She has real bad skin allergies, and she's almost bald. But she's medicated, and she's doing good. Well, she jumped up on me and grabbed a hold of the bar on this chair. And this dog had 5 knuckles and wrapped her paw around that entire chair like a human would.
Wow.
And I looked at her other paw, and it was doing the same thing on my leg. And then I looked at her, and when I looked at her, it wasn't my dog.
Wow. That's crazy.
And every night for, I think it was 2 or 3 days, I even got my husband to come out there and look too. She had 5 knuckles. And even her face didn't even look the same. But it was only of a nighttime. Of a daytime, you go out there, count her knuckles. We did. We counted every single one of them.
Do you
And
think
it was
a
normal.
spirit possessed your dog, or do you think your dog always?
Was it another dog?
Well, we've had her evaluated many times on her skin issues and stuff, and even her feet. You know, her feet was always like, they looked bad. They was naked, didn't have no hair because of the yeast and skin allergies and stuff. And the doctors always said, you know, her foot looks normal, but you got to put the salve on it. We always did. But then they turned like 5 knuckles. Like this dog can make a fist and punch you.
Do you still have this dog?
Yeah, I still have the dog. And after that, I went out there, I took a prayer with me. I found a prayer and I went out there and I prayed over it. And I came back in and I also said a prayer over her. And ever since then, she's normal.
You are a very committed, you are an amazing dog owner. Because I would have had to let that dog go loose in the woods.
I took it to the pound.
Pound ain't gonna want that.
you was like, you the only one in the woods might not even want it, right? Prime 9190 says, get out the woods. It's time to come live the city. Like, let me tell y'all, I have such an infatuation. I want to go to Appalachia. I know that sounds crazy considering what we're talking about. But I have such a deep and profound respect for people who still keep kind of like the old traditions, even though we're living in modern times. So like first of all, there's so much room for investment. Like if you want to buy a property, like places like Appalachia, West Virginia, all of that over there is like, if y'all want to buy a cheap house in America and work remotely, that's where you need to go. That's where you can get you a house for under $70K. I promise you can, right? It's just people don't want to live in those areas because it's more secluded. It's very rural. You won't have a lot of neighbors and things like that. But I have much respect for people who have been over there for like generations and generations because I'm such a history buff, y'all.
Right.
So I see these people as like the preservers of the history, the preservers of the culture over there. Is there a reason why?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I had a question. Tell me what you were going to say.
I was going to say is my family on my dad's side has been here for over 18 generations. My mom's side is connected to Pocahontas' tribe.
Wow.
And it's but on my dad's side, that's where we live because my mom lived in the city and she gave up the city life when she met my dad. And I've lived in the middle of nowhere my whole life, Appalachian Mountains, and I wouldn't change nothing because I have been to the city a few times and I don't like it. And then we took my kid to the city limits and she said, Mom, where's the trees? How does these people breathe?
It's crazy.
Okay. Hold on now. I don't know if you know who these are. So thank you for the super chat, Flip. Mariah, ask her what she thinks of the passport bros. Any scary stories? Now, Firewater, do you even know who the passport bros are?
No.
Okay. No,
okay.
you
can you explain it? You explain it to her. You explain it to her, Coach.
Okay, well, since it's a super chat, the passport bros are people that go to different countries and be with mostly African American that go, but it's whites in there also, and go in so in the Royal Oaks and with different.
He not telling you. He not telling you.
I'm trying to say it. I'm trying to say it so she can understand it.
But you're not gonna give her the full context, so she's not gonna be able to have an opinion because you pussyfooting around.
But I know you sound like Rico now. But the thing is, what I'm saying is, I live overseas. I live in the Dominican Republic, and I'm not a passport bro, but I'm an African American.
Let me take over. I got it. So Passport Bros was originally started as a group of men, particularly black men, but it's all kind of men that do this. It's not just a black man thing, but so these are men who want to move out of the United States to do a couple of things, to leverage their US dollar. So for example, and if you live somewhere like Texas, you might need to make $5,000 a month to live decently. But you can live somewhere here like the Dominican Republic, you can live really good for $2,000 a month. Or you could buy a house or a property for $70,000 a month. So these men want to move abroad so that they can basically have more buying power with their dollars, but also because a lot of them believe that it's better to date women in other countries because they're more traditional and more submissive. Now, some of these men are moving abroad and they're actually finding wives, and then others of them are what we call the weekend warriors, and they are going to these countries and they are basically soliciting prostitution for the whole time they're there, and then they go back to the United States. So it's like a movement. It's like a really big movement. And you've never heard of it?
No, I'm pretty sure I haven't.
Well, I tell you, let me see. Don't be offended because I never heard about Passport Bros until I moved here. Also, I moved here because I have a lot of Dominican friends when I play with the New York Yankees. So I didn't know nothing about it either. So it's nothing wrong with that.
Well, mind you too, I do not have no social media. All I have is YouTube.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. Well, yeah, and the reason why the dudes go to other countries to pay for prostitution rather than in the United States is because, for example, somewhere in Colombia is legal, and for $100, they can sleep with a very, very beautiful woman. So it's legal and it's cheaper. So I guess he's asking, what do you think about that?
Well, I think hold on.
You can be frank.
My opinion on it all, from what you've told me, is just prostitution should be illegal everywhere. No woman should have to be selling her body for money.
Okay.
In no sense, no style, she should be able to live a good life on just working. Or, got a man at work. She shouldn't have to be selling herself to other people or whatever.
Now, what do you think about the guys that's going?
Yeah, the guys that's doing it now, I get it in a sense that they're not doing it in America because you get caught.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Because there's a system here.
Right.
But then you go to other places and it's like I don't even know how to explain it. I've seen stuff, not like what you guys are talking about, but it's easier over there, like in Thailand and Korea and stuff. It's easier.
That's what we're talking about.
Right. So there you go. Okay, cool. So you know a little bit about it, and
yeah, but I didn't know the passport thing. I didn't know nothing about that.
Yeah. But these men are easy pickings, especially the ones that pay. We call it pay for play. The ones that solicit prostitution. I say that these men are easier pickings for a supernatural event because you got to think about it. All you got to do, it could be an old witch or some spirit that use some type of glamour to make themselves look like a beautiful woman. They're easier to lure into a situation.
I got a question. I have a question for you. Did you hear about? I'm not talking about Passport Bros. Did you ever hear about anything like in 10, 20, 30 years ago about people going overseas and sowing the royal oats and being with women from Thailand and the Philippines and stuff like that?
Yeah.
I didn't hear you. Say it again.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What did
you heard about me doing that before?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that my papa did that. He participated in it.
Who did that?
Your papa.
Your
papa did that.
Your papa. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
your
my papa.
Your grandfather. Okay. Gotcha.
Grandpa, papa, pappy, whatever you want to call him.
Tell
us about your papa.
Yeah, talk to
us. Okay, well, my papa liked everything. As long as it was a woman, he didn't care. He would take adventures and he would go off and he would be with a beautiful woman. Didn't matter what she looked like, what color, and he would plant his seed. And once that seed he knew was there, he'd jump and go to another.
So you might have cousins and aunties and uncles that all over the globe.
Where did he go?
He said he didn't tell nobody until he was almost on his deathbed. He said, I've been here, there, and everywhere in between. He said, rice, curry, some what do you call that? What is that? Fufu.
Oh, the fufu, yeah.
He said, I've been everywhere, and we was like, what?
Did he intentionally do that? Like, was he women pregnant on purpose?
He fell in love with them and he asked them, do you want a baby? And if they said yes, he gave them a baby.
God, dog.
If they said no.
Did he take care of them?
Huh?
Did he take care of them?
No, he didn't. He said he made sure he told them, do you want a baby? And if you want a baby, this is the rule. And if they said head out. I think he targeted women that wanted babimes without a man.
Is your papa excuse me for asking this, but it's gonna help me make sense of this. Is your papa white?
Yeah, kinda. He's white, but a lot of Native American.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking a lot of women in these foreign countries, they just want to have a lighter skinned baby.
Well, he was dark red skin.
Okay. Yeah. So he
like jet black hair.
He looked
blue eyes, real pretty man.
Yeah. So he was
but he had them blue eyes.
Yeah.
He was one of the first passport bros. He was the.
But he would let him know.
Passport pookie, baby. Do you know what a passport? You don't know what a passport pookie is. Okay. So a passport pookie, that's a term that we use to describe a faction of the passport bros. These are particularly the dudes who they'll do stuff like get women pregnant, then leave, or they're just doing the whole like mongering. You know what I'm saying? Doing the paper play. So it sounds like your papa was the original passport pookie, meaning he was getting the women pregnant and leaving. That's crazy as hell. Girl, you got women, you have family all over.
Is he still living?
Firewater.
Yeah.
Is your papa still living?
No, sadly, no.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
But I know because that's why you said
stories from him.
Right. I would have loved to have interviewed him, but you said that he told y'all on his deathbed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
He and the deal is too. Where we live, he has 12 children, okay? In our area. Well, come to find out, we had a sibling reach out from Colorado who said, I think that I'm related to you guys. And come to find out, he shows up and he is our papa's twin. We're like, you don't need a DNA test. No DNA test needed.
No DNA, baby. Your papa was laying it low and spreading it wide.
Yeah, he spread his seed like a dandelion. He was just out there blowing in the wind.
Did he was he ex-military or something like that?
No, he was one of the ones who was raised in the city, who jumped trains, a bad boy, slick hair, gangster style.
Child, women, we gonna get them bad boys. Go ahead.
Yeah, that slick black hair, and dark skin, like reddish dark skin and blue eyes. I seen pictures of him when he was young, and I said, never mind, I understand it.
Oh, your papa was fine in the day.
He
Was his
was,
skin color? Was his skin tone like mine?
yeah, but it was more red.
Okay. Okay, like native, kind of like like a Native American.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, Papa was
Yeah.
fine. He was laying around and spreading his
Yeah, and
mind.
all them women loved him. And when we go to visit, and he's like, "Take me to Candy's house," and we're like, "Who is Candy?" He's like, "Well, I knew her back in the day." And go over there, and Candy's like, almost foaming out the mouth.
Now, my daddy was a player. My daddy was a player too. Now, I don't think he was as bad as your Papa, but my dad is, he retired out the military. And I have a brother that's my same age. So my dad is white. And his family originally came from Germany. But my dad is white, and I have a brother, and we're both biracial. So we both have a black mom, and they were pregnant at the same time. My dad I'm 6 months apart from my brother. He's older than me by 6 months. And we all have, my daddy was a player. Yeah, he was.
Hey, what's your name, sweetheart? What's her name again? I'm sorry. What is it?
Firewater.
Firewater. Hey, Mariah, I have to run, but Firewater, please stay on the channel every time we do a live. Just kind of mingle in with us and shout us out, because I like your energy, and I just like that.
Only if I'm with them, then I'll stay.
Only
for what?
Welcome. You're always welcome.
You're always welcome. Now, we talk about different things over here. Right. So most of the time, this is a travel channel. Right. And most of the time, we're talking about something travel related. But I said I'm going to start switching it up and doing these different topics because it's more fun.
How did you find out about the channel?
Oh, I'm a scroller.
Oh.
I typed in StreamYard and I typed in paranormal because paranormal is my top thing.
That's awesome. Awesome.
And I scroll, find one. I've connected with multiple groups that are just, damn good people.
Yes, it's a lot of good. Have you ever been to Louisiana? Because I got to go in about 2 minutes. But have you ever been?
I've only ever been to Tennessee and Ohio, and neither one of them was interesting at all.
Gotta go to Louisiana before. You got to put that on your bucket list.
I need to. I need to put a lot of stuff on my bucket list, and I need to get out of the house. Yes. I need to get out of this holler.
Mariah, I got to run, but hey, thank you so much. Shout out to everybody on the live. It was good seeing you all. Thank you so much. Keep doing what you're doing because we need the diversity, and it's wonderful what you're doing. There's no such thing as this is not a woman's space. This is anybody's space. We see that with our special guest right here below us. She's just from Appalachia. How you say it again? Help me out.
Appalachian Mountains.
There it is. So, well, y'all take care, and y'all have a good night.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Now, bye. You have a good night. Okay. Now, Firewater, you are more than welcome to stay. And as I move through some of these other topics. Now, have you ever been to Puerto Rico?
I have never even been out of the country.
Really? If you were to go out the country, where would you go?
I would go to Ireland.
Why?
Ireland or Scotland, because that's where my family comes from. And my accent literally is from that place. Did you not know?
Okay.
Did you know that?
Well, no, I have heard that a lot of the Southern accent is very influenced by Irish, because the Irish came and later on in U.S. history. So Irish and the Southern English, that our English sounds the way that it does because those people over there were basically like the country bumpkins, or the, you know what I'm saying, like of the UK. And that's why that our dialect is a derivative of theirs. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's like something I want to hear somebody that talks like me. For a fact, I will promise you, I didn't even know I had an accent till I started getting on other people's lives. And they was like, you need to go back and listen to yourself. I was like, I don't want to.
No, I hear that actually like that with the way you say "make." Like I can't do it like you make. I can't do it. But yes, I hear it. I hear that Irish influence in there. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's like say WATER.
W-A water.
I say water.
Water.
Water, yeah.
Okay, water. Okay, water. Yeah, yeah.
I
Okay.
didn't even know there was no difference till people said, why do you talk so funny? And I was like, I don't talk funny. Why do you talk funny?
Yeah, no, I've heard some of the lingo from Appalachia, and it sounds different.
Yeah, like
Okay,
we
so you would
say
go to
haters
Ireland.
and maters and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you go ahead. I'm listening.
No, it's okay. I say water like fire also. Okay. So let me ask you, have you heard of any paranormal activity in Ireland? Because you told me you like to scroll the paranormal.
I've heard about certain things in Ireland of, women who have lost children still haunt certain areas. Castles or bridges and stuff like that, which that even happens here. Not castles, of course, but bridges.
Bridges. There are haunted bridges in the Appalachian.
Yeah, there's plenty of. There's one. Hold on. Brush Creek, Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
You can park your car at the railroad and it literally turn it off. And you got to make sure you dust the back of it with baby powder or some type of powder. Park your car on the other side and sit there for about, sometimes it could take up to 2-3 hours. But your car will be pushed over the railroad tracks. And when you get out and look on the back, it's children's handprint. I never believed it. And then my sister's friend said, well, let's go do it. And I said, okay. So we went and done it, and it happened.
Girl, you like playing with fire. You a dangerous girl.
I didn't want to be dangerous, but they was talking about it. I joined in because I didn't believe it. But now I tell you what, I believe it. You can even look it up on certain things of your car being pushed across the railroad tracks. It's true.
Wow. That is so interesting. Okay, so do you believe that the water or the oceans are... I'm sorry, my internet went out for a second. Do you believe that the oceans are a portal?
In a way, yeah. I believe that all this stuff that they see flying from the water into the air that the military is talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I've had a couple experiences myself swimming early in the morning when I was about 6 or 7 years old in the Rockcastle River. I've had stuff that flew out of the water into the air that looked like a bird, and it was not a bird.
Wow. Okay, well, look, I want to show a video real quick, and you tell me what you think. Okay. So this was in Puerto Rico, in Aguadilla, okay? And they're saying this is alien mermaid footage. Y'all look at that. Can y'all see?
Mm-hmm.
What do y'all think that is? I've never seen nothing like it.
What it glowing blue like that? Ain't them like them plankton things that glow blue?
But are they that big?
Yeah. They may be like that if there's a whale around.
And it glow like that, and it's that blue. Look at that.
I know. See, that's where you get me. Is the more I'm watching, no, that's something else.
That shit is scary. I would run out of the water.
I'm telling you, do you believe in aliens? Because I'm not sure if I do, but that right there just makes you question it.
No, I believe in it because you didn't see all those Senate hearing meetings that started happening. I want to say around 2022. They started having a Senate hearing meetings. They admitted on CNN that there are in fact UFOs and all that kind of stuff down here. Now they've been a little. Now this was on national news, y'all. So I'm not. This is not a conspiracy theory. At this point, the government, the Pentagon, has admitted that the UFOs do exist and that we do have access to extraterrestrial technology. So, you know, they're there. It's not a matter of if they exist. Now it's a matter of they're not letting us know what they look like or the capabilities that they have. And that's the issue here. But they exist.
I tell you what, I kind of don't want to know what they look like in a way.
Yeah. I'm not going to sleep tonight. Why, girl? Don't be scared, Misha. Don't be scared.
Scaring the crap out of that girl.
I believe some of these movies are spot on when it comes to paranormal activities. Now, some people are saying that, like, even when we talk about the supernatural, right?
Mm-hmm.
That they may not necessarily be spirits, but it might be other dimensions. So, for example,
we're talking about that. Do you believe in Bigfoot?
I don't not believe in Bigfoot. Why?
Okay.
What was you gonna say?
Well, I'll tell you something happened the other day. And this is no joke. Like, even my kid won't even go outside after this. Mind you, like I told you, we live in the middle of nowhere. There's a creek in our yard.
Uh-huh.
And I told my kid, I said, you know what? We need to get out of this house. So I grabbed the dog, Great Pyrenees, good dog, big dog. And we was walking up and down the creeks looking for crawdads and minnows and stuff like that. And we went all the way down to the bottom of the creek and we went to the top. Well, when we got to the top, we stand there for about 10 minutes because there's a really deep hole and we was looking at all the fish and stuff and the dog was interested and he loves catching fish and whatever. Well, after 10 minutes, we walked away and there was this giant tree limb out of nowhere. 10 minutes, mind you. We were standing under this exact tree. No wind, no nothing. Mm-hmm. Walked away, this tree limb that probably weighed over 60 pounds hit the ground, and something behind it jumped down.
Okay.
I don't believe it. I don't believe in Bigfoot myself, but my husband does. He said, "Oh, it's probably Bigfoot." I believe it was a mountain lion.
It could have been a mountain lion.
But like I said, mind you, we stood under that exact tree for 10 minutes. But as soon as we turned our back, walked 10 foot, even the dog was jerking. He was like, "You get me out of here." And I grabbed my kid and I ran and I told her to get to the house. And I kept turning around. She's like, "Mom, come with me." And I said, "No, you know, if this thing's coming after us, I'm throwing you to the house and I'm going to fight it with the dog."
Yeah.
And after, no joke, I went back and looked at the tree limb. I couldn't hardly lift it. That fell. No wind. No nothing. It tore every limb out of the tree above it down. And this is the deal, okay? The tree limb came down and hit the ground, but something came down after it.
Oh, hell no.
My daughter even said, she said, "I heard that thump just like you did."
Girl, I don't know. I would have to move. Baby, no.
I still go out there all the time and I still look at it. I'm thinking, what was it? But
you don't go out there at night.
There ain't no. What'd you say?
You don't go out there at night, do you?
Yeah, I go out there at night.
You do?
Yeah, I do. I got to check on my dogs.
You dedicated.
I'm telling you what, though, I tippy toe. You know, when you walk real fast on tippy toes, I walk out there real fast on my tippy toes. I'm like, "How you doing? You doing good? Okay." And then I run back on my tippy toes and I come back in the house.
I know that's right. JB Design says, "I'm meeting up with a Puerto Rican chick Friday. Hope she's not a shape sister." Oh, y'all. Next time I talk about this, I might be able to find a video. There's a black dude that has a story about a woman. Like, he met a woman at a shop in New Orleans. Mm-hmm. He went to go meet up with her, and then him and some other guys got attacked by a werewolf. And it's scary. Like, it's here on YouTube. And I'm telling you, this old dude, I don't think he was lying. He was genuinely spooked. And he was retelling a story because it happened when he was younger. Your thoughts on those suspicious balloon satellites that were above where the earthquakes occurred in Colombia? I did a show maybe in 2024, 916. Now, I don't know if those satellites were real, But that's not new. That's not the first time. If y'all go back in my archives, I did a show about the paranormal activity, and that's not the first time those big, like it's like balls or balloon have been over Colombia and have been spotted over like Medellin. So no, we don't know what they are, but I know exactly what you're talking about, and I've seen them before. And there's video evidence. That was Big Daddy, not Bigfoot. I believe in skinwalkers, yeah. I've heard that because of the wilderness, the government uses the Appalachians and Cheyenne Mountains and national parks for experiment. I believe it because it's like, who's gonna go in there and figure it out? And then if they do go in there and figure it out, those are the easiest places to disappear somebody. And a lot of people go missing in these places.
Well, you know where I live in Kentucky is the biggest cave system is Mammoth Cave, and people used to be able to visit willingly whenever they want, but now they shut it down, and you have to pay to visit it. And at certain times of the year, they have it shut down because they have a ritual there, and it's all the celebrities.
Wow.
But they have I've been in Mammoth Cave before, and in one of the caves, like the main system, it has an offering rock where you have, you offer a human. And we went on a school field trip when I was a kid, and after that, they shut it down. And now only celebrities are allowed to go in there, or you have to book a reservation.
That's crazy. That kind of reminds me of what's that grove? What's it called? Something grove. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Alex Jones exposed it. Dang it, I forgot what the name of the place is called, but it's where all those celebrities get together and supposedly they do those sacrifices. Now, this video right here is the Dominican Republic. So this is supposed to be a real siren, y'all. They saying it's not AI. So this is off the coast of a beach.
En las redes este video de una sirena real en la playa de Boca Chica en República
Boca Chica, over here, 35. I'm over here in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. It's like maybe 35 minutes away.
Dominicana.
Y'all see? Now she's not gonna surface. But y'all see the platinum hair? Like the men keep saying that that they have platinum hair.
Yeah, it's like a siren.
Yeah.
Circula en las redes.
And all the men who have seen them said that they have platinum hair. Okay, now go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, you say what you're gonna say.
I was gonna say with the sirens is you notice how it's all men that see them.
Yes, and that's what the dude. Okay, I have a theory. So there was a dude, like one of the first dudes that I was showing on here, and he was saying that he believes that the sirens are actually good, and that women made up lies, and that they want the men, and they show themselves to men who were going through things, or when they're going through a spiritual journey. And he believes that the sirens are not dangerous, that they're actually good. And that the women, that us women made up these stories, to keep the men away from the sirens because we're jealous of them, basically is what he was trying to say.
Yeah.
Now, to me, that just don't make sense because, if you go back, the men were the ones, the fishermen, the men that were out at sea, they were the one who were coming back and telling the stories about the sirens. Or, if you think about the sirens in the Odyssey, and they were painted in a negative light. Well, who wrote the Odyssey? Homer, he was a man, So it's like all of these stories come from men about how dangerous they are. I think this, because this particular dude that said he saw a mermaid. I think he was just enamored by the beauty. I think that the sirens show themselves to men because the men are more easily tricked and allured by their beauty. So it's easier to get them into the water or mesmerize or enchant them than it is a woman. What do you think about that?
I agree 100% because everybody knows, the beauty is what attracts men the most. If you can come off as beautiful to a man with natural beauty, then that's all it takes.
That's all it takes. And that's what, okay. I don't know. I'm gonna introduce you to, I know like you're not into the whole passport bro thing. It's like a movement, like it's new to you. But like one thing that happens, it's like really concerning, and it's something we often talk about with the men that travel abroad. And it can happen to a man that's not necessarily soliciting prostitution. But one thing, like when these men go to countries like Colombia, Colombia has this drug called scopolamine. Have you heard of it?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so basically, a nickname for it is called the devil's breath. Most of the time, they will slip it into the men's drink, but they can also like blow it in your face. And what this drug does is it subdues you and makes you more vulnerable or open to suggestion. So,
Mm-hmm.
for example, after the men take it, a girl might ask them for the password to their phone, and he's more likely to give it to them, or he's more likely to go to the ATM and withdraw money. And eventually, if they take another, I mean, eventually I just pass out from it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that these women are so beautiful and so gorgeous that like it's easy for them to scope these men because they're not expecting it. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, to me, the sirens have the same effect. These women have the same effect of the sirens. Like, you
Yeah,
can,
it's like on land sirens. They should be called that.
yeah, like they like on land sirens, right? And a lot of times the thing is the men kind of like that young man who's like they're so beautiful, and he's like, I felt like she was trying to warn me. It's like the men are easier to trick because they have a lot of ego, so it's like they want to believe this beautiful woman just
Mm-hmm.
wants me so much, you know what I'm saying, like she's choosing me. And it's like, sir, you finna get done up a lot of the time, like but a lot of time they're not thinking about that. It's like the beauty can be so blinding. The men have to train themselves to not care about beauty. Really they do, in order to be safe. Mariah, have you heard of Dr. Phil Valentine? Checks his lectures on the rings of Saturn. I just put it, I'm gonna check it out when I get off of here. The rings of Saturn, Phil Valentine.
Oh, I see too, is I know that many men are tricked by the beauty and lay with the woman, and then afterwards she's crazy.
Oh well, yeah, but they love it there, girl. They love it.
Mm-hmm. I've been married for 10 years.
There used to be sirens all over Sosua. I'm glad that you brought that up, Suavecito, because I have a student, one of my Spanish students, and he just recently took a trip to Sosua. And when he got back, he called me. He said, Mariah, that place ain't right. I said, what you mean? He was shook up. He said, it's a force there. It's an energy. It's a spirit. Like you feel darkness and despair when you're there.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, I saw so many men that, if you don't know what Sosua is a city in the Dominican Republic. It's a coastal city. And it's where a lot of the working girls, the ladies at evening, they go work because that's where they can pick up the Johns or the men. So now they're trying to change it up and clean it up so that they can attract more families. They don't want a lot of the prostitution there, so they're trying to crack down some. So he was just telling me, like, he said that he felt like if he would have stayed there, he would have lost his soul. And he told me the majority of the men that he saw living in Sosua look run down, look like they don't look like they're in a good space physically, spiritually, or mentally. This is not what I'm saying, y'all. This is my student. We literally talked about it today. He's a grown man. I think he might be in his late 40s, 50s. But he said, if I would have stayed in that place, he's like, Mariah, why didn't you tell me not to go? And I was like, you told me after you booked the trip, and I couldn't say that because I'm planning a trip there right now, but I haven't gone. So I only know what I've heard. So I can't tell you, I can't speak to the energy of that place. Then he said he felt like it was a dark force, and that if he would have stayed there any longer, he was gonna lose himself or do
Yeah, that's definitely someplace I would not want to be. I have been in places that way.
yeah. He said he had to get up out of there.
Hmm
He had to get
I've
up
been
out of
in
there.
places of there was a old, I think it's a storehouse that used to exist until a bunch of idiots, teenagers, burned it down. But in a way, I kind of believe and understand why they burned it down. But every time you went up that way, you would get this awful feeling, and it always made you want to feel in a negative sense, if that made sense.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. Suavecito says, I think sirens are an allegory for pros. So you don't think there are real ones? They will eventually lead you to your demise. Well, I think that they share commonality, but I think there's real sirens. Misha says she had so much fun there in Sasua. I think like, okay, I think there's a difference between when you go for like a weekend or maybe a couple of days versus when you live there. And that's what he was saying. He was saying that the men that live there that are actually chose to stay there, he was like, it's like they got stuck. And I couldn't help but remember again, if y'all think about the Odyssey, where they got with those sirens, and it's like the men didn't want to leave, and it's like they couldn't
Hmm
leave. And then,
It's
like
like
after a while, they just started to go
it's
crazy and
like they're
stuff.
hypnotized.
It's like they're hypnotized, and it looked good. It looked good at first. It seems good at first, but after a while, it started destroying them. So I think if you do stuff like that, you got to do it in small doses, because the long. And then here's the thing: some people just can't leave. Some people don't know when to pack it up or when the party is over. Um, so, I don't think every personality type is for everything. It's some people that know how to keep stuff to a minimum and keep it pushing and go back to real life. And then there's some people who just are more susceptible to get caught up.
Hmm Well,
71.
that's like I just seen a comment. Cigar Talk said, "Ask the dolphins; they know what's out there. Ever noticed how dolphins take to human beings and land animals like dogs?" I will tell you my own experience. I know I listen to my entire life to the animals around me. When you don't hear a bird chirping or a cricket screeching, what we
I
call
was
it, or
talking about that.
anything, that means there is a predator around.
That's
Okay.
I was talking about that.
Yeah, and if you see, I'm raised around a bunch of chickens. If the chickens are in the trees, that means the predator is on the ground. And if the chickens are on the ground hiding, that means the predator is in the air.
Wow.
And
So I did not know that chickens go in the trees.
yeah, that's where they roost at. But
Oh, okay.
also crows will tell you. Crows will tell you when a coyote is around. A coyote, what everybody calls it. Crows form this almost triangle in the skies like you would see ducks would do. And they will point you to where the coyote is at.
Wow.
And when a coyote, we're infested with coyotes. We're infested with bears and now a mountain lion. They will tell you. And when me and my daughter are outside and you hear the crows start and the chickens freeze, like you would walk up to chicken, knock it over. They won't even flinch. You knock them over, they'll lay there.
Wow, and that's how you know when a predator is
Yeah,
around.
and even when the weather gets bad, like I mean, where I'm at, the weather's awful. And when that storm starts hitting, the chickens will freeze and the weather will get really bad. And then next thing you know, you look around and there's not one chicken. And my neighbor's got over like 200 chickens, and you will not see one of them. That means, you better get to shelter. We had that tornado come through and we got lucky, thank God. But I went outside on the porch and I looked out and the sky was flashing neon green. I looked around and you couldn't find not one animal in the yard.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy.
I
Misha,
listened to the land.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, at the beginning of live, me and Coach talked about that, how when it just gets dead silent, that you need to leave that area, because it means
Yeah,
it's
well,
either.
see, we went to Yahoo Falls, okay? It's in Kentucky where I live. And we thought it was just a fun name, Yahoo Falls. And you have to walk 2 miles back to see this fall, the waterfall. Well, I noticed the entire time we was traveling back through there, there was not a bug noise, there wasn't a bird noise. And I told my husband, I said, this is weird, because when you're in the woods, you shouldn't be able to hear yourself even breathe. Bugs should be loud enough to cover that. We got out there after we seen the falls and stuff. Got back and I done some research. Why is it called Yahoo Falls? Well, back in the day, Yahoo was the term for Bigfoot before the word Bigfoot existed.
Okay.
And then I bet you've heard of Cumberland Falls, ain't you?
I haven't.
You haven't? Oh my gosh, almost everybody has. Went to Cumberland Falls, and they have a waterfall there called Dog Slaughter Falls. And we was like, wait, that name is very intense. Dog Slaughter Falls. Done research, and apparently the amount of bears and panthers there that killed hunting dogs was insane that they called it Dog Slaughter Falls.
Wow.
And I was like, I don't want to visit none of that no more.
Yeah.
Take me home.
Well, Mariah, this is a good live. I'm learning new things also. Yeah, I think when you were raised in the city, we lose a lot of this knowledge that gets passed down. We like to think people are just superstitious, but like we lose a lot of knowledge that gets passed down that really is supposed to help us survive, right? That these people use to survive. And you know what? It's crazy to me. I think we like to chop everything up, especially in modern days. I'm one of those people where I believe that I don't believe that science and the supernatural or the natural, because it's really natural, what's happening naturally. This is all energy and stuff like that. I don't believe that they exist in separate spaces. I think that they work in conjunction. And I don't think that I don't think it was a situation that the people back in the day were just so dumb that they was just making shit up. I think because they were forced to have to coexist more with nature, that they understood it a lot better than us. So, for example, you got to think, before electricity, people could only get up and work with the sun, right? So you had to live in coexistence with the forces of nature. People could only plant their harvest in some certain areas. Like, for example, you couldn't go plant a harvest in Asia during the monsoon season, and you had to be aware of the position in the moon, because the moons affect the tides and things like that. So I think people had more knowledge of the natural, which also there's a spiritual element to that, and I think we have just forgotten. I don't know if you've seen have you watched Game of Thrones?
I have tried to watch Game of Thrones, but then all that, the forceful scenes have turned me off of it.
Oh, it's too vulgar.
It's not something that I would enjoy to watch, but I get it because I see the shorts on YouTube. It makes it seem like it's a great show, but then when I tried to watch it myself, it was terrible.
Okay. Well, girl, don't look. Sometimes I have to cuss people out on here because they getting on my nerves. These men mess with me. So just scroll past when I'm cussing folks out, because I go in. But hold on. But here's the thing. So I'm just gonna explain. So there's an element in that book series and also in the show where they say that they believe, because if you were to watch the first couple seasons, you're not going to see any magic in there, none at all, right? So I believe when they want to tell us stuff, they put it in a movie or they put it in a series. And the thing about George R.R. Martin, the person who actually wrote these books, he did a lot of historical research. So a lot of this is based in historical facts and things like that, or things that happen in all around the world. So basically one theme to that show is that there's magic, but we don't see it, nor can we wield it because humans stopped using it and we forgot about it. And what happened is now you only have people who are trained in that, like the elites. So, like the maesters, who would probably be akin to like the Catholic priest of today, or just spiritual people, they hold the knowledge of that, and the lay people are the only ones who think that magic don't exist. Meanwhile, people in these spiritual institutions know how to wield it. Like even the kings and queens don't know how to wield this power, right? So then, as you know, the series progresses, then we start seeing, oh, the magic has always been here, and there are people that know how to wield it. It's just gate kept. And I honestly and truly believe that that is the case, that there are people who know how to, that humans, because we have digitalized so quick, because we have industrialized so quickly, a lot of us have forgotten the old ways and will continue to forget the old ways. But there but the people in high places, the people in these spiritual institutions, they gatekeep the spiritual magic, and they know, and they continue to wield it, even though we have no knowledge of it.
I agree 100% because I've noticed in all these shows when it comes to magic and, you know, summoning, like, it ain't even, I don't even like that word summoning. It's like when they open a new thing, like a new, let me think of what it's called, a new something. Trait, I guess, human trait. It's always the ones that are told they're the weakest and have been through the worst, and when they open themselves to more than what they thought they was worth, so much comes out of it, and then it forms into such a beautiful, powerful thing.
Girl, that pressure makes the diamonds. So when you think about somebody who's been through a lot, I said, okay, I'm a person who has went through a lot. I've told my story on my there are videos of it, right? But any type of abuse that you could go through as a child, I went through. I was in foster. It was so many things. I don't care. And I'm not hurt about any of it because I've healed from it. I won't say I would wish it on anybody. This is not what I'm trying to say. So you got to listen and understand. I wouldn't want nobody to go through these things that I went through. And thank God I don't look like what I've been through, right? However, I truly believe that going through these things unlocked a deeper spiritual and psychological understanding.
That's exactly what it is. It's like a deep thing that is hidden amongst our feelings and emotions that we cannot physically express. And when it comes out, it's like this bombshell. I was abused. I stayed with my parents, but I was abused from my mother. And she belittled me my entire life, made sure that I thought of myself as nothing more than a slave, is exactly what she told me. She said, you will do what I say and say what I do. And it was that way till I found my husband, and I jumped and I ran. I found the opportunity. And once I got out of that situation, I found myself having this feeling on the inside that I could not tell nobody about because I couldn't express it. And when I seen other movies and TV shows, I'm like, that's how I feel, but I can't feel that way to everybody else. I can't express that because my mom has made me compress my feelings my whole life. And to this day, I'm still the same way.
So do you feel like it's a good feeling or an empowering feeling or what?
Yeah, it's like I have an armored heart that is about to bust through that armor, and it's going to be 10 times bigger, 10 times stronger. And it's just going to be so much better for me.
Yeah, because here's the thing in life, everything that's why that yin and that yang, everything requires a sacrifice, right? So here's the thing people want to experience. This is why I truly believe if somebody's had a life that's too good, they don't. Have you ever seen people who've had a really good life and they don't appreciate anything? Well, it's
Yes.
because they can't. It's like they are genuinely incapable of it. Because in order for you to understand what good is, the extreme goodness, you have to experience the extreme lows, and they work in conjunction. And you
Yeah.
can't recognize the highs, you can't feel the highs if you never felt the lows, right?
Yeah.
So like that's why everybody, it's all about rhythm. Okay, now I'm going into Kabbalic stuff. This is all about life is rhythm, right? So
Mhm.
the ups and downs come with it, and if you don't experience extreme lows, you can't experience extreme highs. And people have a hard time, those type of people who never, they have a hard time genuinely connecting. They might think they are, but they're not. Born Ready says, just look at what they discovered sitting under the three great pyramids. Yeah, the coils. Yeah, I definitely think the pyramids have a lot of secrets. Um, Hold on. We haven't forgot. We have just be out under the spell of this system, and our level of consciousness is on a very low vibration. We are ether beings, but our levels are purposely drained with the food, etc. Yeah, I was talking about this yesterday. So I don't know if you've been paying attention to what is happening with the earthquakes globally, but I lived in Colombia for 2 years, and I actually just came here to the Dominican Republic. And normally I would have been there this summer, but this is my first summer away. In a few years. So before there was the earthquake in Venezuela, so they're right next to each other, right? And both of
Mhm.
these countries sit like on a fault line, and it seems like all of these um there's a lot of earthquakes along this fault. I guess they're getting very active now. Volcanoes are active. There's like 6 volcanoes along this region that are on an orange alert, that are either already have started erupting or are in danger of erupting within the next couple weeks. So there's the nature part of it. But I also think that we're living in strange times, because what I've noticed about people is people are falling victim to despair, depression, loneliness, and their vices, right?
Yes. Yes.
Vices being like turning to drugs just to cope, or turning to sex just to cope. And those things, like, hear me out, y'all, because I'm not over here trying to preach to y'all to live this perfect life. How you use those things matter, right? So, for example, if you can't sleep alone at night and be comfortable, right? Or if you can't, I'm trying to explain it in a way to where, because we all live different lifestyles. Certain people use certain things just to have fun, and they're done. They don't need it. And certain people use certain things to escape, and they can't
Yes.
stop doing it. And this is the energy that I'm talking about, right? So a lot of people are falling victim to a dark psychic force, and it's causing humans, we're very psychic, whether or not we're aware of it. On top of, I believe, some manipulation that's going on at the top. And the earth is feeling all of this, right? It's all working in
Mhm.
conjunction. And that's why we're seeing so much. People might call it the last time. I don't know if it's the we living in the last days or not. But what I do know is that something is not right, and it hasn't been right for a long time, and we all can feel it. And people are now at a crossroads, and a lot of people don't understand that they're at a crossroads. This is not a whether you're going to go to hell or hell. This is whether or not you're going to fight this energy. And a lot of people are losing the battle. They're losing the battle, and they're continually falling into despair. They're giving up on goodness. They're giving up on their dreams. They're giving up on connection. They're giving up, and they falling
Yeah.
victim to all this. And it's causing a deep disturbance in the energy. They're feeding the negative energy. I don't know if you remember, did y'all ever watch the Never Ending Story?
Oh my gosh, don't get me
Y'all remember
started.
the
That
never
is
ending
my
story?
childhood. I
Okay.
love it.
Okay,
That
guys.
is what taught me is what you put out is what they feed off of.
Exactly. So in the never ending story, you remember it was the nothing,
Mm-hmm.
that was the bad thing that was going to swallow up the land, the
Yep.
nothing, right?
It
And
turned everything from bright, beautiful colors to gray and white.
to
And what
and
are we in?
come on now. The world life isn't colorful anymore. Even when people put up buildings and
Exactly. It's
it's
like, you
all
remember when
gray, black,
parks
it
used to
looks the
be so
same.
colorful, green, blue, red, and all that? And
Nothing,
now it's just,
everybody
there's nothing.
gray, white. Even the way people decorate their houses, it don't have any
Yeah, it's
the
all
personality.
beige and white and plain. And that's what I've even told people. And people or other people that I'm around, they don't believe it. They're like, oh, it's the same as it was when I was a kid. And I was like, no, it's not. Look
Not.
around.
No, it's not. We don't even like to see color. We don't like. There's nothing whimsical about life what it used to be, and this is all in energy, right? So like when
Mm-hmm.
that nothing swallowed it up, it wasn't. I like that they used that because it wasn't like one evil villain, and what they said in the never ending story that fed the nothingness was that people gave up on their hopes. They gave up on their dreams. They stopped believing in the divine. They stopped believing in the good. And y'all see it now more than ever. People don't go to church, which I don't necessarily think you have to go to church, but it's not even just people not going to church.
You
People
have to
don't have a
believe in
spiritual life.
something.
Yeah, something. They don't. It's a lot of people. They have
Well,
no type
that's just like
of
the
spiritual life.
Tinkerbell thing.
Mhm.
You know, Tinkerbell was about to, you know, all that Peter Pan stuff. Tinkerbell was about to die because nobody believed in her. That was a bigger story than what it was. And you don't realize it till you're an adult.
Yeah, that's true. Nikola Tesla already achieved unlimited energy production with technology he learned about from the pyramids, but he died before he got to invest for his project. That's what I heard.
I mean, you have to listen to the earth, listen to the animals around you, especially if you have dogs, cats, hamsters, fish, whatever, parrots. Look at them and watch them, and they will tell you exactly what's lacking in your environment.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh
I have
yeah.
a Great Pyrenees and I have another dog, and
Mhm.
the way that they acted told me that I
Yeah.
need more energy and I needed to feel better about myself because I was bringing them down.
Come on now. And who feel it? Dogs feel it. Animals feel it. Kids feel it. Everything, so we are in a spiritual battle, and I battle with myself every single day. I got to get up and stay prayed up, so none of us are immune to it. You say you blame HOAs for why homes aren't colorful, perhaps, and they're partly to blame, but
Mm-hmm.
also you got to think about this.
It's
Why the hell
choice.
McDonald's don't look the way it used to? Why is McDonald's, and it's not just McDonald's, it's all the fast food places. Remember, used to go to McDonald's, it used to be so colorful and beautiful. Taco Bell,
Mm-hmm.
all these places.
I remember
And you
when
look at,
KFC was red, white, and blue.
yeah, these places used to be fun. They used to be whimsical. Even if you look at the buildings from like the 80s
Mm-hmm.
and the 90s. So even like with these businesses that have a little bit more leeway than like an
But it's like
HOA.
when I was a kid, when I went to the bank had such vibrant colors, and they had suckers, and they had all this, and now it's just a bunch of rude assholes.
Yes. And again, people complain about connection, but they don't go out of their way to connect. So then you know what they start turning to in order to help them connect? They start turning into to substance abuse, right? Because there's a difference
Mm-hmm.
between use and substance abuse. Why? Substance abuse, it loosens them up. It makes them more it's easier to talk to people when they get on substances, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
easier for them to like perform tasks when they get on substances. And then on top of that, even just with the this is one thing I will say, I do believe this, especially if you are, I think after a while, if you continue to have a whole bunch of meaningless sex and you continue to have a whole bunch of meaningless sex without connection, you lose your ability to connect. And why do I say that? I have had, and the men don't think, men like to say sex is only dangerous. It's only dangerous for a woman to have lots of meaningless sex because we're the receivers. So it defiles us, right? But I've heard so many men tell me that they regret. Like I've had men who have been able to sleep with a lot of women because they were handsome, attractive, whatever the case may be. And I have had many men in private tell me that they regret all the meaningless sex that they've had because now they cannot connect with a woman and they regret it. Like they wish they could take it back. And, you see a lot of men who maybe weren't able to have all that access to these women who think, well, what are you saying? You was out here living the life. But after a while, it wears the men down too. It does. Maybe not all, but a good amount. They don't feel the same. They don't feel right. Sounds like you're familiar, Zacharias. Who is that with Zacharias? Who is that?
Well, I'll tell you something that I don't tell many people. I have never slept with nobody other than my husband. I had this thing in my head ever since I was a child, and in my sense, it was God. Is I have many opportunities to lay with others. I did not do it. I could not. And then when I met the man of my dreams and knew he was the right one, waited 6 months, and then, did the deed and been together ever since.
You so wholesome. I love it. I love it. That's awesome. That's beautiful.
And all my friends that I got three friends I'm with from high school, and they travel through the system and the men like crazy. And they're like, I don't know how you found him when you did. And I was like, well, I literally put my hands up and I told God, send me on the right path when it comes to my journey of exploration is what I called it.
Okay, so you think it was God, not necessarily. You think it was
Well,
being intentional
I
about
know
that.
for a fact that I would have never let any of them boys I dated. I'm gonna call them boys. They was boys I dated throughout my high school years. I would have never let them touch me. Kissed, held hands, hated them all. Could not stand them. It was just like, I think I like them, I don't like them. After that, I never let them touch me. But when my husband now came into the picture, it was like it was meant to be. And I have never been with nobody else. And nobody believes it.
I believe you. I believe you. I believe you.
It's like something between me and God. Only between me and God. And, God forbid something happened to my husband. I would never be with another man.
Yeah.
And it's just something that's embedded in me that I can't move past. I cannot let nobody else touch me.
I believe you. No, I believe you for sure. I think people, just because that might not have been their experience, have a hard time believing others. But I have a good spirit of discernment. I believe you.
And nobody believed me, not even my parents. They're like, "Oh, you have definitely slept with your boyfriends." I said, "Where? When? We're at school."
Yeah. Well, you'd be surprised. Christianity and the church religion has caused more death, division, and despair than anything in the history of the world. Why would you put your belief in a system of thinking? Well, we're in a time now where people have the least faith than ever, and we're still divided. Look at what's going on in the United States. People in the U.S. are the least religious they've ever been, and can't get along, and wishing bad on other people over differences in opinion or difference in politics. So here's the thing: if people want to figure out a way to be divided and they don't want to come together, they're going to figure out a way. You can take religion out the equation all day, and people are still going to fall into tribalistic ways. But I think religion, when used correctly, with religion or having your own belief system,
Not all Christians are the same.
Yeah, that's true. And yeah, that's true. Facts. Mariah, did you hear about the energy weapons the U.S. used in Venezuela to capture? Oh yeah, that basically stunned the soldiers and they was bleeding out. They used vibrational sounds to cause rapid vomiting and diarrhea. Yeah, I heard about that.
I'll tell you
It says
something
that the
too.
same vibration energy can be used to kill cancer cells. At a certain sound frequency, cancer cells will die. Wow.
Mhm.
Wow.
Well, too, is, there's a cure for everything right in front of us. It's not made in a lab by a scientist.
Mm.
It's right here in front of us. Dandelion roots that we say as weeds can cure cancer. Government wants us to spray them with pesticides and get rid of them. It's proven studies that dandelion roots, you can boil it and steep it for a couple hours, or you don't have to do it, depending on how much you make. And it can
Yeah,
help.
dandelion is also good for women for like balancing our hormones and
Yes,
blood and
okay.
things like
I'll tell you a immediate cure for UTI. Buy you some corn or go to a farmer's market or whatever. You buy corn on the cob, and you know the hair that's on it. You take that hair and steep it in some hot water and drink it, and it will cure UTI.
Swear.
Promise you.
So
It
the
is,
hair are not the husk, but like the little hairs that
you
come
know, the
off.
hair. That's what everybody calls it, the hair.
Have you
You
used
can
this
take it,
before?
steep it in tea, and it's so beneficial for a woman's urinary tract. Everything. It's good for your ovaries. And all you gotta do is steep it for 5 minutes and drink it.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff that used to just be put in a
Mhm.
tea. See, I believe in using some new age medicine, but then I
Mhm.
believe that some of that we don't really need, and that's what I'm saying. The more we industrialize, the more we lose the old ways. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Or we say, oh, that here's the thing: all these witches be doing is like the root work and all that. All they do is work with plants and the elements. Most of witches, the people that do witchcraft or
It's just
that's
living
it.
off the land.
That's it.
Well, that's like too. Your dog has ear mites, and you don't want to pay. You'll have to. You don't have a choice. You have to pay $50, $60 for it. You can take either one or two options: baking soda and some warm water on a cotton swab. Rub it in the ear for 6 days straight. Gone. You can take apple cider vinegar with a mix of water, half and half. Rub in the ears for 3 days, and it's gone. I do it all the time
Wow.
on many different people's animals. Same with worms and stuff like that. You can burn a lot of wood in a fire when you're camping or whatever. You can take that charcoal, you could fine it down, put a little bit in their food, it worms them. A
Okay.
lot of people don't know it. It does not bother your dog because it's natural.
Okay. I love that. I
Dental
love
work too. People are so against it. But go to your butcher and ask for a couple pieces of bones or fat. Give it to your dog if they have real bad tartar, real bad breath. Give it to them. Within 2 days, your dog's breath will not smell like anything.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
And it's true. I've done it so many times.
Wow. Well, Firewater, I have had a very awesome time talking to you tonight. Where can the people find you? You said you don't have any social media?
I just here. That's it. And I don't think nobody wants to find me anyways.
Okay, it's okay. Well, make sure that you subscribe to my channel then and that you pop in because I would love to have you back on the panel. Because I think you bring a very new perspective. You can bring a very fresh perspective, especially because it's like some of these things, like you're coming with your own information. Some things are new to you, so it's funny to watch when we talk about certain things. But you have been an awesome addition to this panel. Thank you so much. I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. Thank y'all for the chat. Thank y'all, everybody that y'all like the stream on your way out. And before y'all go, if you are interested in doing AI trading, what is that? I have an account too, so I do this with my own money. I work with them. I'm partnered with this company called Trade Pilot, and they have master traders. And how it works is the trades are what they do is replicated in your account. So everything is linked. So you have people that can day trade in your account, and you don't have to do anything but check your profits and losses at the end of the day. And it's a very good way, instead of keeping your money in a savings account, it's a very good way for you to let your money make money for you. And you're going to be able to flip your money faster than like a traditional investment account. That makes sense. So If that's something that you're interested in, the link is in the bio. Also, if you would like to learn high ticket sales so that you can work remotely and move abroad, then check out the link for the Live Abroad Academy. Right now, if you use my discount code, you can get 10% off to enter the academy and learn a new skill that's going to help you feed yourself and fund your dream to move abroad. With that said, Firewater, thank you so much. I hope to see y'all again. Salute to the chat.
Wait, can I say one thing to you?
Go ahead.
I appreciate you so much for accepting me on here. You are such a great host.
Oh, thank you.
And you are just, I don't even know how to explain it. You are like fireworks. You just keep the stream going and entertaining. And I appreciate you so much.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate you. That you made my night, girl.
I'm going to hop off, and I hope you have a great night's sleep.
You as well. And the rest of y'all, I have to go study. The rest of y'all have a good night. Get some rest for work. And I'll see y'all back here tomorrow at the same time.